no one said the path would be easy. And for Bridgette Mitchell's squad, it certainly hasn't been. The new year marks the start of Fordham's conference slate. A-10 play is here, and the pressure is magnified. With a blowout loss to St. Joseph's University, the Fordham Rams dropped their 6th consecutive game, something they haven't done since 2012. But today is a chance to turn the page. The Fordham Rams will look to end the skid and grab their first conference win against a rebuilding St. Bonaventure program. It's Fordham and St. Bonaventure, an early morning weekday matchup live on WFUV Sports.
Rise and shine, we've got a Wednesday morning A-10 battle on Rose Hill. Fordham women's basketball looks to snap a 6-game losing streak and pick up their first conference win of the year as they take on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. What's up, everybody? Lou Orlando alongside Chris Carrino bringing you this edition of Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports. Chris, you look at this Fordham Rams team, 6 straight losses. That's their most since 2012, and the last 2 have been tough ones to swallow. A blowout loss to UVA, a blowout loss in conference play to St. Joseph's University. Things have not gone Fordham's way.
No, they haven't, but those 2 games you bring up, that St. Joe's game and the Virginia game, aside from one more in the losing streak, there's been 3 other games in this losing streak that have been only 1 possession, so they could very easily be 5-3, then 3-5. It could definitely, it's a small margin in between the victories they've been having and the defeats that they've been having, but I could see that thin line also being present today, and this one being a close one all the way down the stretch.
Well, this Fordham team going up against St. Bonaventure, ranked dead last in the A-10 preseason poll, so a chance to get their first conference win of the year. We'll get y'all up for this matchup. Before we do, Chris and I talk to Fordham women's basketball head coach Bridgette Mitchell. Lou Orlando, Chris Carrino here with Fordham women's basketball head coach Bridgette Mitchell. Coach, obviously the last 6 games haven't gone your way, and now you look at A-10 play. Is there more pressure on the team to win once you get into that conference slate?
No, we were picked 13th So there's no pressure on us. I think that we're putting a little pressure on ourselves because we know that we're better than what we're demonstrating. I think St. Joe's is top of the league, right? And so that performance was what it was. I think that our team is resilient, so I'm interested to see how we come out today. And I'm really looking forward to us continuing to grow.
Yeah, in this part of the schedule, it's really packed in with all these road games. But these two games here, obviously, last game may not go how you wanted it to go. But these two home games at the beginning of the A10 schedule, how kind of important is that just to kind of be at home base as it starts?
Yeah, I think that it's important, that level of comfort, right? You would say that we didn't shoot very well last game, you know. So again, we're looking forward to today and just being better than we were yesterday. But in conference play, it's always best when you can get that home court advantage, right? When you can get that extra love from home, and your family comes to see you. So we're thankful for that, right? In terms of the league and giving us that schedule, and so we're looking forward to capitalizing on it when we can.
And you said it with the scoring last game was a bit of a problem. Even in the Virginia game, a bit of a problem as well. What do you do in practice specifically to kind of fix that out, or maybe even just try and fix the volume of the shooting?
Yeah, we started for quite a bit sometimes, just continuing to do game-like shots. But we just have more people getting those up so that they're getting confidence and shooting those same shots that Taylor and Amy and Mandy and everybody gets. So just continuing to do that and instill that confidence in them.
The opponent notwithstanding, because obviously UVA and St. Joe's, but it feels like those last two games, the starts have been slow where they're getting out to runs and the shots aren't falling for you guys. Is there anything specifically in your system that you're not seeing right from the jump?
No, so it's been more than just those two games. We talked about it leading up to those games. So when we were played against Maine, we had a slow start, and then following that, going to Duquesne, right? We were down 16 and we were able to claw back. Siena, Fairfield, same thing, right? And so we switched up our starting lineup. We switched up our warm-up, and we talked about it at great length with our players and our team of like, you know, it's time for you guys to do something. We've tried a few things. Now it's up to us to come out and play. And every game is going to pose us challenges, but that's been our challenge these past few. So we're looking forward to being a little bit better than we were before.
All right, Coach, good luck today.
Thank you.
Almost set for basketball here on Rose Hill. Fordham versus St. Bonaventure. Some quick starting fives for St. Bonaventure. Tiana Johnson, Danny Haskell, Nadeska Lassine, Isabella Middleton, and Taylor Napper. Fordham going a bit smaller. Amy Hayford, Taylor Donaldson, Matilda Flood, Rose Nelson, and Mandy McGurk. Mandy McGurk slotting into the lineup after 3 really strong games for her off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Mandy McGurk is a game changer no matter where she is, whether she's on the bench or in the starting lineup. And I think Coach Bridgette Mitchell sees that, and that's why she has the ball right now.
Fordham wins the tip. They get first possession. Fordham in all white, maroon striping. St. Bonaventure in all brown. It's Taylor Donaldson, left wing. Lefty drive. Goes up with the floater, but called for the offensive foul. And this will be St. Bonaventure ball.
Lou, Coach Mitchell always kind of prioritizes turnovers and really thinks of that as a major part of the game. So a turnover there in the first possession, definitely not the start that Coach Bridgette Mitchell was really hoping for.
Near side inbound, and it's Isabella Middleton. Swinging ahead to Tiana Johnson at the Fordham logo. The St. Bonaventure team led by the transfer Danny Haskell. She gets the ball on the right wing, lobs right block for Napper, swings under against Rose Nelson. Can't hit the right block too. Nelson the rebound. Amy Hayford, the left wing drive, spinning around in the paint and called for a travel. Back-to-back possessions ending with St. Bonaventure ball, and this Fordham team has gone off to a couple of slow starts recently, looking to avoid that again.
Yeah, Coach wants to limit this team to 6 turnovers a game. They're already a third of the way there in their first 2 possessions.
Full court press in effect for Fordham. Johnson crosses the timeline, guarded by Flood. Bounces right wing, it's stolen by Donaldson. Donaldson working in transition near side. Tries to kick out and called for a travel. 3 straight turnovers for the Fordham Rams. And you look at this team, went down 23-4 in the first quarter against St. Joe's, went down 18-0 against UVA. They've been susceptible to big runs to start this game. It's something Coach Mitchell talked about with us before this game, looking to avoid it here. Lassine on the left wing, resets top of the key Middleton. Middleton guarded by McGurk. The drive down to the free throw line. Lefty block, 2 is good. St. Bonaventure, the 2-0 lead, 8:43 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Middleton, that was a tough move to find space inside. Pretty wild how this game has started, that St. Bonaventure, first one's on the board.
Amy Hayford, free throw line. Now back up top of the key. Flood swings right wing. Donaldson, the three is short. Rebound, loose balls nearly secured by Amy Hayford, but this will roll out of bounds along the near side, and St. Bonaventure ball. Fordham had a chance to grab that offensive rebound, couldn't come up with it.
It was another one of the narratives we talked about with Coach before the game was the scoring. The last two games, they've been in the 40s or 50s, so to still not have any points in these first couple minutes of the game, definitely not how, Coach really drew this one out.
It's been a tough go of things for Amy Hayford the last few games, and she'll sub out. In comes Taya Davis. Racine, righty drive, goes up with contact, wild shot, no good. Rebound, Donaldson works in transition, top of the key. Swings right, McGurk into the far corner. Matilda Flood, lefty dribble, swings left wing. Taya Davis drives to the free throw line along the right block, kicks out right wing. Donaldson, the three is good. Fordham takes a 3-2 lead on the Donaldson three-pointer. 7:45 left in the first quarter. Fordham pressuring at full court. It's Middleton at the Fordham logo, guarded by Davis. The right wing pass for Danny Haskell goes out of bounds, and Taylor Donaldson comes running up alongside her booth along the court.
Athletic move, I have to say. Very athletic move. But also I wanted to say off the ball here, Danny Haskell, they want her to get her open desperately. Multiple screens are being sent out. They are really trying to get her the ball.
Danny Haskell, 6th in the A-10, 14.4 points per game. The lefty drive by Middleton, rejected by Rose Nelson. Fordham works the other way. Donaldson, the left lane drive, no good on the floater.
Taylor Donaldson's all over the place.
Loose ball ends up out of bounds, and I believe they'll say Fordham ball. Yes, that's the call. So the baseline inbound for Taya Davis. Fordham up 3-2, 7:19 in the first quarter. Davis finds Donaldson left wing. The lob to the left block. Kayla Harris resets left elbow. Taya Davis, the two is good. Fordham leads 5-2, 7:10 in the first quarter. Middleton far side resets for Racine at the Fordham logo. Fordham a 3-point lead. Racine left lane drive, kicks out far side. Middleton resets left wing. Racine top of the key. Haskell guarded by Donaldson. The right hand drive down to the block, back to the basket. Kicks out right wing for Johnson. Johnson spins around. The fadeaway two bounces out. Rebound by Middleton, but snatched away by Taya Davis, and that will be ruled a jump ball, and it'll stay here for St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, this Fordham defense, specifically on this side of the floor, really playing with a new sort of energy that I really like. And obviously, they've done a decent job, only one field goal so far for St. Bonaventure, but especially in the middle with Rose Nelson, really packing it in, especially with the contrast of this smaller lineup as well.
Well, Danny Haskell checks out, did not get a shot off. Near side inbound up top, Middleton. Right wing Racine into the near corner for Tiana Johnson. Back up top for Racine. Fumbles with the ball, recovers 8 on the shot clock. She's guarded by McGurk. The step up two, off right iron, rebound Harris. Fordham leads 5-2, 6:20 to play in the first quarter. Hayford quickly drives, spins around, goes up with the right. It won't go off right iron. I think they'll get Amy Hayford too many steps there, and St. Bonaventure ball under the basket.
Once again, these turnovers on the offensive end really hurting this Fordham team. They should easily be up 10-2 right now, but they're still in this game one possession, and that just come from the sloppiness on the offensive end.
4 turnovers already for Fordham. 4 minutes in, far corner. Tiana Johnson drives down to the block, into the paint for Napper, spins around, and gets knocked off the ball. We've got a foul on the floor. Taya Davis, too much contact down low. And Taylor Napper going to the line for 2. Fordham ahead 5-2, 5:59 left in the first quarter. And Taylor Napper, the 60% free throw shooter, to the line. First free throw bounces out. We should mention, as you can hear the crowd get loud, that it is field trip day here at Rose Hill, so we've got A lot of elementary school students here packing Rose Hill. 0 for 2 trip from Napper, and rebound secured by Harris. Ahead to McGurk, right wing. Back up top for Taylor Davis. Swings far corner. Hayford back into the game. Hayford bounces right block. Harris. Hayford gets it back in the paint. The floater is good. 7-2 Fordham leads.
And if you can hear what we can hear, it is that loud in here.
We know these kids like to get loud. The drive from Lacine, and the 2 no good from the free throw line. Rebound by Hayford. Hayford quickly ahead in transition to the far corner. Resets top of the key. McGurk. McGurk the drive. Kicks left wing. Nelson drives down to the block. Back to the basket. Spin around 2 is short. Tiana Johnson the rebound, pushing the pace. Fordham ahead by 5. 5-10 and ticking on the first quarter. Swings it left for Lacine, guarded by Nelson. Finds Johnson, top of the key, drives the right lane. It's poked away by McGurk. Loose ball covered up by Taya Davis. Getting in there is Taylor Napper, a jump ball. This one should go Fordham's way.
Yeah, finally getting some possession. That's Davis' second ball she's dived on the floor to get in a jump ball. But yeah, Fordham 7-2, definitely a decent start for them, especially on the defensive end. But some of the sloppiness on the offensive end, if they can cut out some of that, they'd be up a whole lot more.
It's been a 6-game losing streak for Fordham. They're looking to pick up a win, and their first win in conference play, up 7-2 with 4:56 left in the first quarter. With that, let's take our first break of the day. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Will Grant.
And I'm Chris Persianen.
And we're 2 of the hosts for WFUV's very own basketball podcast, Pick and Pod.
Tune in weekly for updates and our takes on the latest around the NBA, as well as exclusive insight from our very own Knicks and Nets beat reporters.
We'll have you covered on everything from all of the NBA's latest drama we know and love,
to debating all year long which team will get to lift that golden Larry O'Brien in June.
So don't miss a beat from the hardwood on WFUV's Pick and Pod.
With you in Rose Hill, we've got kids still piling in.
Yeah, can I just, for 1 second?
Yeah, go.
When you look on the schedule and you see a Wednesday at 11 a.m., this is not the picture I initially had painted. There is children of all sizes, of all ages, that have been piling in here nonstop for, I'd probably say the last 45 minutes, I would say. Probably the last 45 minutes. It is absolutely packed. Almost every seat in this gym, and there's a lot of seats, is filled up by some sort of children or teacher, and it just created an absolutely electric atmosphere in Rose Hill Gym today.
And our MC, Gigi Spears, did a nice job, but before the game started, she got her mic and she said, hey, we all know who we're rooting for, right? And she had them practice their cheers, so they came in ready to cheer for Fordham. And
they've done that.
They've had some stuff to cheer about so far, right? Fordham up 7-2, 4:56 left in the first quarter, and I think this team in a unique position coming into this year. Not a ton of expectations to compete in the A-10, ranked 13th in the preseason poll. So you get a 6-game losing streak. You talk to Coach Mitchell, and maybe the pressure's not there in conference play as much, right? They know what the expectations are coming in. I think that puts a lot of the onus on the players to correct this, who have some time as well to correct it, and that's what they've done so far. You go up against the St. Bonaventure team that comes into the season ranked dead last in the preseason poll. You feel like you should be able to compete with them, and so far you've set the tone.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the kind of understating of Fordham preseason is really in the heads of Coach Brissette Mitchell and their team. She mentioned that 13 preseason ranking multiple times when we were with her before the game. It seems like something they really care about. It seems like a chip that's most definitely on their shoulders. They've started out this game well. It's 7-2. They have kind of commanded the driver's seat early, but without that sloppiness on the offensive end, they'd have so much more command over this game, and I hope to see less sloppiness.
Taya Davis controls, top of the key, swings right, Donaldson moves to the top of the key off a screen, has an opening, throws it into the paint for Harris, kicks out near corner, Hayford the three is strong. Rebound secured by Dandridge. Dandridge will push it up near side. Flood pokes it away, recovered by Harris. That's a turnover forced by Fordham. Davis in transition, the right lane drive with contact off glass and in. Fordham up 9-2.
Davis coming off the bench today. Mandy McGurk in the starting lineup. She's making her impact.
Dandridge right wing. St. Bonaventure down by 7. The left wing 3 by Claire Cody, and St. Bonaventure answers, trailing 9-5. Tay Davis, top of the key. Drives the left lane, stops the block, kicks out left wing. Donaldson, the 3, she answers. Fordham ahead, 12-5. Taylor Donaldson nailing the 3-pointer.
And Lou, we know watching Taylor Donaldson all season long, she can shoot the ball, and she is like a microwave. When she starts getting them going, they just don't stop.
Top of the key, Dandridge. Fordham leaps back out by 7. 3:40 left in the first quarter. Handoff top of the key, Haskell. Swings left side, Claire Cody. Now into the hands of Peyton Fields. Top of the key, Haskell guarded by Flood. Haskell dribble drive, now kicks out. Left wing for Fields to the free throw line. 2 seconds on the shot clock. The 3 from Haskell is good. Oh, a desperation shot from the left wing. And St. Bonaventure hits. Donaldson back down the other way. Right wing 3 rolls out. Offensive rebound by Flood. Pass out to the free throw line for Harris. Has some trouble with it, but recovers. Top of the key, Davis. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dribble drive. The floater rolls in. Fordham ahead 14-8.
Davis seems to be the conductor of this Fordham offense. The sloppiness is slowly dissipating, and it's really becoming a free-flowing offense on that side of the ball.
Left wing, Peyton Fields. The action really picking up here. Down into the paint, Dandridge kicks out near corner. The 3 from Middleton is short. Rebound by Davis. Gets run into by Middleton. This ball will head out of bounds. Last touch by Middleton. Fordham ball. Andy McGurk checks back in. Isabella Middleton checks out for St. Bonaventure. It's Fordham ahead 14-8, 2:36 left in the first quarter.
Miranda Nyborg checks in as well. As we said, out of the starting lineup, Fordham playing a little smaller today to match St. Bonaventure, and Nyborg finally seeing the court.
St. Bonaventure, not a ton of height. One of the worst teams in the A-10 when it comes to rebounding. It's at the near corner, Mandy McGurk, 10 seconds on the shot clock, top of the key, Flood. Bounces right block for Nyborg, back to the right wing, Flood, the 3 is good! Fordham hits from 3 again! The 17-8 lead with 2:05 left in the first. This Fordham team has come out strong offensively. Peyton Fields off a screen. Swings it near corner for Tana Johnson. Swings into the paint, blocked by Flood.
Oh,
Rim defense for Fordham has been so strong.
they got her on the baseline out of bounds.
They'll say out of bounds. And St. Bonaventure ball, the baseline inbound, as Chris said, but Fordham on the offensive end, hitting from the 3 to start. Baseline inbound, Haskell finds Fields, the handoff to Haskell, air ball on the fadeaway 3. Flood running in transition near side. Finds McGurk in the near corner, resets top of the key, Davis. Minute 35 left in the first. Deus dribble drive into the paint, right block, 2 off glass and in. A strong move from the paint.
Davis is absolutely cooking right now on the offensive end. She can get to wherever she wants.
19-8, Fordham leads. Near corner, Claire Cody fakes and drives, called for the double dribble. This will be Fordham ball as they force the turnover. Minute 18 left in the first. Fordham leads by 9. We've had fast-paced action. Both teams electing to work fairly quickly here, Chris.
I'm just paying attention to the children behind us.
As you should.
They've all been given papers. My mind immediately goes to just how electric that post-game autograph signing is going to be.
I'm wondering why we didn't get papers, but that's neither here nor there.
That's another story for another day.
It's right wing Amy Hayford. Minute 5 left in the first quarter. Dribbles over top of the key. Now right wing Nyborg back to Hayford as they play catch along the perimeter. Hayford drives the left lane, too strong with the lay. Rebound by Harris, off glass and in. Fordham ahead 21-8.
The asserted dominance on the defensive and offensive glass for this Fordham team so important.
45 seconds and taking its last scene on the right wing. Dribble drive under the basket, kicks out far corner Fields. Top of the key, Johnson, right elbow extended. Into the near short corner for Lassine. The left-hand hook shot blocked by Nyborg. Lassine gets her own rebound. Left wing three from Cody is no good. And Nyborg the rebound. Amy Hayford shovels right wing. Mandy McGurk takes the three. It's short. The rebound secured by Nyborg. Tries to save it, but right into the hands of Claire Cody. Lassine works in transition. 10 seconds left. Right wing Haskell drives into the paint, kicks out. Left wing to Lassine. Bounces up and out. Harris the rebound. 2 seconds left. And that'll do it for our first quarter. What a start to this game by the Fordham Lambs. Taking a 6-game losing streak coming in, but they jump out to a 21-8 start. 3 for 7 from 3, 9 for 16 from the field.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the potential of truly what that first quarter could have been, it was very impressive, but 21-8, it's in a dominant position for this Fordham team, and they should be winning by even more. That's what I would be telling my team right now. You're up a decent amount, and you have a decent lead and just a control over this game, but it could be so much more, and I could see Fordham taking even more steps to broaden this lead, especially with the sloppiness kind of getting picked up on the offensive end. They look a lot cleaner and a lot crisper on that side of the court.
Fordham up by 13 through one frame. Let's send it back to the Rose Hill Studios. Ben Oppenheimer has your one-on-one scoreboard update.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
We've got some action in the A-10 today for women's basketball as the 12-1 VCU Rams take on the 11-3 Richmond Spiders at 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., St. Louis heads to the Windy City to take on Loyola Chicago. Also at 7 p.m., GW heads to the city of brotherly love to play the 12-1 St. Joseph's Hawks. Moving into tonight's matchups for A-10 men's basketball, Fordham is in the nation's capital to play the conference-leading GW Revolutionaries, which will be the first game of conference play for both teams. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. and will be broadcast on 90.7 FM and WFUV Sports YouTube Live. At 6:30, George Mason, who is currently second place in the conference, take on the 9-4 LaSalle Explorers in Philly. At 7 p.m., the 10-2 Dayton Flyers head to North Carolina to play the 10-3 Davidson Wildcats, which will be broadcast on CBS Sports. Also at 7 p.m., the 9-3 Duquesne Dukes play the 9-3 Minutemen in a matchup at UMass. And the 10-3 St. Joseph's Hawks are in Kingston to play Rhode Island. For the last 7 p.m. game, the 8-5 Loyola Chicago Ramblers head to St. Louis to play the 7-6 Billikens. And rounding out tonight's matchups in A-10 men's basketball, the 9-3 Bonnies head to Virginia to play the 8-5 VCU Rams at 9 p.m. on CBS Sports. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
Back with you from Rose Hill, New Orlando, Chris Carrino. We had a pretty electric rendition of Just Wanna Rock here, and that the kids behind us were getting into it, but let's get back to
Lou,
the action.
just before we get to the action, I just got to say, Lil Uzi Vert, he gets the kids on their feet. This place transformed when he came on the speaker.
He certainly did, and this place has been on their feet for a couple different reasons. Fordham up 21-8. Something I want to mention at the end of that quarter is I had a little bit of a misidentification. Amina Lee got the rebound to end the first quarter, and her return from injury, we haven't seen her since the Georgian court game. That was November 20th. She's been battling concussion. To get her back, the 6'4" center, that is a much-needed return for this Fordham Rams team. They're going to ease her back into play, but her getting healthy is huge for Fordham's success down the stretch.
Yeah, and that dominance on the offensive and defensive glass is one of the most important components of this game this afternoon. But this St. Bonaventure team, I would never count them out. Jim Crawley, their head coach, always seems to have something up his sleeve, and I would expect nothing less today.
Lassine, the short corner, too, is good. St. Bonaventure opens the second quarter with a bucket, trailing 21-10, 15 seconds in. McGirt controls top of the key. Finds Hayford in the near corner. Cross-court pass, Donaldson, left wing Nyborg. Into the hands of McGirt, the step up two, air ball. That ball takes a couple bounces off the floor and into the hands of Middleton. Across far side for Lassine. Top of the key, Middleton. Back to Lassine, left wing, guarded by Nelson. Lassine drives, step back two is good. Back-to-back buckets by Lassine, and a pretty move at that.
Yeah, it seems like St. Bonaventure is just starting to get some open shots. Seems to be completely opposite from Fordham. Fordham can get all the shots they want. They just need them to go in. St. Bonaventure just looking for open looks.
Hayford drives the left lane, has it stolen away by Middleton. Lassine across to Haskell, left wing, fakes the handoff under the basket. Now kicks out left wing Johnson. Back to the basket, finds Haskell. Haskell, the drive from the far side. Floater is good. 6-0 run to start this second quarter. And back within 7.
I could tell at the beginning of that dribble combination, she wanted to do that one on her own, and that was the mindset she went that entire possession with.
Jeremy Haskell, 5 points in this game so far. Hayford drives left, spins into the paint, but called for the travel, the shot. An errant shot, it won't matter. She's calling for the turnover. These turnover issues seemingly poking their head up again.
Yeah, Lou, that's her third time here with the spin where she gets called on the travel. Even if you don't think it's a travel, at some point you need to readjust your game. You need to take that travel, you need to take that spin out of your bag, so to speak, and you need to just continue to not try and turn the ball over.
8:15 left in the second quarter. St. Bonaventure opening on a 6-0 run. It's Lassine right side, now near corner Napper. Back to Lassine right wing, guarded by Davis. To the free throw line, Middleton, guarded by Hayford. Middleton pivots around, steps back. The 2 is an air ball. Rebound by Nyborg into the hands of Davis. Davis pushing quickly, finds Donaldson under the basket. They'll say foot on the line. Back-to-back possessions with a Fordham turnover.
I just want to speak for a second on this crowd just one more time. For this Fordham team, it has to be helping them. All the support in the gym today. I haven't seen this much support around the women's team all season long. Got to be exciting for these Fordham women's basketball players.
One of their highest attended games of the season, and an 11 a.m. one at that. Top of the key, Middleton drives the left wing, kicks out far corner Johnson. They'll say Johnson. Too many steps on a dribble. That's a travel.
A lot of travels, Lou.
A lot of turnovers. That's 5 for St. Bonaventure, 8 for Fordham. Fordham still looking for their first points of the quarter, up 21-14, 7:25 left in the second. Taya Davis controls at the Fordham logo. Dribble between the legs. Bounces left block, Matilda Flood back to the basket. Turns around with the left and no good. Misses the rim entirely. Loose ball recovered by Lassine. Caught in a full court trap by Tavis and Donaldson. She gets it out. Middleton gets it across to Haskell. Now near corner Napper. Resets top of the key Middleton. 15 on the shot clock. 6:55 left in the second. Kayla Harris set to check in. Next dead ball. Middleton dribble drive. Now kicks out for Haskell. Far corner 3. Tiana Johnson rolls out. The offensive rebound by Lassen. Loses control. Lassen looked to be shoved out of bounds by Nyborg. They'll say Fordham ball.
Yeah, from the outside looking in on that play, it looked like Nyborg hit her really hard under the basket, but then after the play, she's just standing there like this with her hands up. She just has her hands straight up. Not really much the ref can do there to protect the player. She, hit her within the rules, I guess.
It's Taya Davis at the Fordham logo. Gets it back from Flood. Handoff Donaldson, top of the key. Takes the 3. It's good. First points at the corner for Fordham. They're up by 10, 24-14.
It's not even that Taylor Donaldson can shoot the ball. It barely looks like it hits the rim anytime she puts one in from behind the arc.
Donaldson, 9 points on 3 threes. Near corner for Middleton. Right wing Lassen, guarded by Hayford. Picks up her dribble. Wide open 3 for Middleton. Off left iron. Offensive rebound by Napper, no good. Harris the rebound. Donaldson will push. 2-on-1 for Fordham. Bounce pass across. Hayford on the left block. Won't go. Loose ball recovered by Hayford. Finds Donaldson. Right block. That'll go. 26-14 the Fordham lead.
Yeah, Fordham cleaning it up on the offensive end. Still some turnovers, but you see that lead going up, and it's because they're holding on to the ball offensively, not letting turnovers get into their game plan.
Right block for Johnson. The gather move. Doubled by Harris and Davis. I think they'll get Taya Davis for the foul. That'll be her second of the game. And that should send Tiana Johnson to the line.
It's an interesting kind of situation, Lou, because it seems like Fordham, from all accounts, has the size upgrade, and they seem to have the upper hand in the size component, but they're matching this St. Bonaventure team with any lineups they have out there. Fordham not really packing it in with, bigger women out there to get on the offensive and defensive glass, but they're just matching St. Bonaventure's size.
They'll call the foul on the ground. It's Dandridge controlling top of the key, guarded by Flood. Swings left side, Middleton drives to the block. Tries to kick out, but first called for the travel. Made some contact with Kayla Harris. Kayla Harris tried to sell the call. Won't get the charging call, but gets a travel call.
Yeah, Kayla Harris gets the honorary charge call there. Should get some respect for that in the locker room.
Resulted in a turnover, so maybe that counts.
Yeah.
Donaldson, top of the key, takes another three. This one bounces out.
Wow.
Flood flying in for the rebound and draws the foul.
Matilda Flood doing Matilda Flood things, Lou.
Matilda Flood coming in, one might say, with reckless abandon there, and went flying, but draws the contact, I believe. They'll get Tiana Johnson for the call there. Baseline inbound, Amy Hayford. Lobs left elbow for Harris. Back into the hands of Hayford. Near corner three. Bounces out. Dandridge the rebound. Dandridge dribbles right. Controls at the right wing, guarded by Flood. Picks up her dribble. Bounces top of the key. Haskell guarded tightly by Donaldson. Swings right for Dandridge. Dandridge jabs and drives into the paint. Turn around at the block. Top of the key. Haskell pump fake. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Drives the left lane into the paint. Napper up with the right block too. It's good.
It's impressive stuff on the offensive end from St. Bonaventure. They're super coached well, and these sets they run, it leaves a lot of open shots.
Fordham up 26-16, 4:25 to play in the second. Handoff for Donaldson, right wing. Kicks back out Hayford, the right elbow two is good. Amy Hayford gets on the board. It's 4 points for her early going. 4:10 left in the second quarter. Fordham back up by 12.
Fordham at a scoring pace they can maybe be happy with now.
Middleton bounces into the paint for Napper. A good look. We've got whistles and a call.
Not sure. I think it's a foul that's going to maybe get transformed to a timeout here.
We've got a foul going against Fordham. And that will take us into our media timeout. Taylor Napper will be shooting free throws when we come back. Fordham 28, St. Bonaventure 16, 4 to play in the second quarter. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Lou Orlando.
And I'm Colin Loughran.
And we're two of your main hosts for WFUV Sports' NHL podcast, 5 on 3.
We'll keep you updated on the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, and of course, the Stanley Cup Final.
Home ice for all things NHL, 5 on 3.
Well, 5 on 3 is a great listen, but we're here to talk some basketball. Lou Orlando, Chris Carrino, Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
I've heard there's some real gentlemen on that.
Oh, an impressive crew on 5 on 3, but neither here nor there. Fordham up 28-16, and I want to take this moment to talk about the St. Bonaventure team. We didn't have a ton of time to preview them coming in, but I think impressive what they've done coming in. You mentioned Jim Crowley returning after an original 16-year stint. He was named ESPN.com National Coach of the Year, took St. Bonaventure to the NCAA Sweet 16, named A10 Coach of the Year 3 times, had a lot of success. He left in St. Bonaventure. The grass wasn't greener on the other side. Jim Fleming really struggled in his 7 years here, so they bring Crowley back, and you get 2 impact transfers in Danny Haskell and Isabella Middleton, and this rebuild now starting for St. Bonaventure. They went 6-26 last year, so it's been a tough go for things last year, and they've got some more talent in here. Still probably one of the lesser teams in the A10 from a talent perspective and expectations coming in, but I think the rebuild and the foundation is now finally in sight for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jim Crowley is women's basketball at St. Bonaventure in every single way. All the success that they've had, their major high points, it's always been with him at the wheel. I even thought something was interesting. Talking to Coach Mitchell, Fordham head coach before the game, she talked about how a press was out of the option for them. They could not set a press because she knew that Coach Crowley would have players set up in spaces to get open shots, and she was almost scared by setting out a press out there, and that just showed me how much respect amongst his peers Jim Crowley truly has. And also, it makes me think, still with a 12-point deficit, that they are very much in this game. They're starting to get more shots on this offensive end. I'm sure that's due to him and his sets getting women open, but if they can continue some of this offensive success, this game might be a little closer.
And Coach Crowley, all-time leader in wins for St. Bonaventure women's basketball with 262, sixth all-time in A10 women's basketball.
What does number 2 have, St. Bonaventure?
And coaching.
Probably not close.
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I know that it's not close.
Yeah.
And Coach Crowley has not been given a super big team, just a couple players over 6 foot, but he's made the most of his playmakers, led by Danny Haskell. It's top of the key, Claire Cody off the bench, swings left for Lassine. Lassine returns from last year, one of 7 returning players for St. Bonaventure. Peyton Fields shovels forward. Lassine, the turnaround 2 is good. It's been a big quarter for Lassine. She brings St. Bonaventure back within 10.
Lou, another open look for the St. Bonaventure team. They don't just give 3 A10 Coach of the Years to anybody, and you're seeing exactly how influential he is right now.
McGurk bounces near side for Donaldson into the paint for Rose Nelson. Back to the right elbow. Amina Lee, hands off. The floater for Donaldson is short. Rebound corralled by Dandridge. Donaldson did her best to force the jump ball, but they'll say came from behind, and that's a reach-in foul. First going against Donaldson. 28-18, the Fordham lead. 3:21 left in the second quarter. Middleton controls. Transfer from Slippery Rock, a D2. She's been a big impact player for them so far. Into the paint, Claire Cody. Near corner, Lassine, the 3 is short. Rebound by Rose Nelson, rising up over Peyton Fields, and then draws the contact from Fields. This will be Fordham ball.
Yeah, tie-ups in that close succession, it just shows how hard these two teams are playing right now. This Fordham lead slowly going down and going down and going down. This Fordham team needs to be at least vigilant of it a little bit. Right
Jim
now.
Crowley's bunch has done a nice job of hanging around within striking distance. Taya Davis fumbles with it. Top of the key, 13 seconds on the shot clock. Uses the Lee screen, dribble drive. Now kicks out Donaldson, left wing 3, air ball. And that one not close. Donaldson's had a nice day, but doesn't come close in that shot.
From the Bonnies' defensive perspective, I mean, you do everything right there, and then you still leave Taylor Donaldson wide open at the top of the key. They need to fix something, especially with Taylor Donaldson on the defensive end.
Dandridge, top of the key. Swings left, Middleton in the far corner. Cross-court pass for Lassine. Gives it right to Fields. Short corner for Lassine. Drives around into the paint. Goes up with the left. A pretty move and gets it to go. Back within 8 points. Our St. Bonaventure 28-20, 2:15 and ticking.
The Puerto Rico native showing some sauce in the lane there.
It's been a big quarter for Lassine as she's up to now 8 points. All of them coming in this frame. Tay Davis dribble drive, kicks out near corner. Mandy McGurk the 3, bounces out. Amina Lee the rebound, fumbles with it but recovers.
Very impressive rebound there.
It's Taya Davis, 15 on the shot clock as it resets. Donaldson to McGurk, swings for Nelson, right wing. The drive into the paint, goes up with the left, a pretty move. Rose Nelson on the board for the first time today. Fordham up 30-20. Rose Nelson displaying some of the athleticism we've been known to see on occasion. Far corner Dandridge. On Lee, drives into the block. A pretty hop step move, goes up and gets it to go.
And Lou, because this St. Bonaventure team has shooters, Fordham been in man-to-man all game defensively as the Taylor Donaldson gets an offensive rebound.
McGurk missed the right wing 3 into the hands of Davis. Back to McGurk, right wing. Top of the key, Donaldson. Left wing for Nelson, guarded by Fields. Far corner, Taylor Donaldson, pump fake and drive. Oh, goes up with contact, gets it to go. No call, but an impressive contested 2 for Taylor Donaldson.
Now 13 for her. She's having a hell of an afternoon.
13 points, leads the Fordham scoring effort. 49 seconds of ticking on our first half. Near corner, Fields drives into the paint. Contact drawn by Rose Nelson and Amina Lee. And Peyton Fields has earned herself a trip to the line. And that one, I think, should be going against Amina Lee, who will check out here, seeing some time in this first half for the first time since her injury on November 20th. Fordham had 32-22, 42.9 seconds, and 2 free throws here for Peyton Fields, 6'0" guard from El Paso, Texas. Buries the first.
Yeah, you talked about her earlier, Middleton averaging 14 points per game this season. She's definitely been one of the more impactful players for the St. Bonaventure team, along with Danny Haskell. Really just been most of the offense for this team, but it's been a trial by committee for most of this second quarter. Really everyone scoring for St. Bonaventure.
The second free throw rolls out, 1 for 2 trip from Peyton Fields. Fordham leads by 9. Matilda Flood splits 2 defenders, goes up with the left, can't hit the rim. Lassine working the other way, she splits McGurk and Nyborg, kicks out far side Dandridge. Back to Lassine, top of the key Middleton, far corner. The 3 from Fields is good. 32-26, the Fordham lead. Bonaventure back within 6 here. 15 seconds of ticking on our first half. Fordham, the final possession, shot clock is off. 10 seconds and ticking. Davis at the logo. 6 and 5 off the Nyborg screen. Far corner Nelson, 2 and 1. Nelson goes up, the step up 2, no good. Hits the side of the rim. Rolls out. That's how our first half comes to a close. Nice effort from Bonaventure at the end there. And they only trail by 6.
Yeah, I said this Fordham team has dominated most of this first half, but you got to make sure you create some breathing room. You got to make sure you put this team away. They didn't put this team away. They let them linger around, and Coach Crawley and his Bonnies only 6 points away here at halftime.
St. Bonaventure struggled from 3 for most of that half, but woke up a little bit. 2 threes from Peyton Fields. They're 3 for 10 from beyond the arc. Fordham, 4 3-pointers made, 4 for 13, so not the highest percentage, but they're getting their threes from beyond the arc, not something we've necessarily seen the last few games.
No, and there's a fluidity to this Bonaventure offense that's really been the difference for me in the second quarter. When you think about the dominance that Fordham put out there in that first quarter, just a fluidity and a consistency on the offensive end, finding open shots, which they really struggled with in the first half, and then capitalizing on those open shots. That's been the winning formula so far for St. Bonaventure. See if they can crawl into this one, maybe even make it super competitive.
Taylor Donaldson's 13 points have led Fordham to a 32-26 lead at halftime, and with that, let's send it back to the Rose Hill Studios. Madi Dembele and Ben Oppenheimer have your one-on-one halftime report.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around for another installation of One-on-One's very own Halftime Report. I am your host for today, Madi Dembele, joined by my good friend Ben Oppenheimer. We are here with another taste of Fordham women's basketball as they are currently doing battle with the St. Bonaventure's Bonnies. Try saying that 2 times fast. A lot of good notes, a lot of good stuff that we got to go over. But before we get into any of that, I'm going to toss it over to Ben Oppenheimer, and he's here with another update. Stay tuned with him. He'll take you around the world of sports. Ben.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Looking at some matchups in the NBA tonight, the 18 and 15 Knicks take on the 15 and 20 Bulls at the Garden at 8:30, which will be broadcast on ABC. For the 15 and 19 Nets, they'll be in Houston this evening to play the 16 and 15 Rockets at 8 p.m. as Brooklyn is looking to snap their 4-game losing streak. The 24 and 9 Milwaukee Bucks will be in Indianapolis to play the 18 and 14 Pacers tonight, as Indiana is looking to continue their 4-game winning streak. The 23 and 9 Thunder look to extend their 5-game winning streak as they face the 13 and 19 Atlanta Hawks at 7 p.m. Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and the new look Raptors will be in Memphis tonight to play Ja Morant and the Grizzlies at 8 p.m. In Los Angeles, the 17 and 17 Lakers will be at home tonight to face the 19 and 14 Miami Heat at 10 p.m. Moving over to the NHL, the 19 and 14 New Jersey Devils will be in DC tonight to face the 18 and 11 Capitals at 7:30. Looking at the New York teams, the league-leading 25 and 10 Rangers will play Chicago at MSG tomorrow to play with the Blackhawks at 7 p.m. and the 17-10 Islanders, who currently find themselves in the third wildcard spot, will head to Arizona to play the 19-15 Coyotes at 9 p.m. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
Ben Oppenheimer, I love to do this with you. I'm glad I got you in studio. And let's talk some Fordham women's basketball. Fordham Rams versus St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Again, try saying that 2 times fast. But, Ben, I got to talk to you about this open, right? Fordham has struggled in the past to open up basketball games. We want to talk about struggle 23 to 4 points in the first quarter against St. Joseph's. And then you have 27 to 7 points in the first quarter against Virginia. Today just seems like a different kind of day. 21 points to open against the Bonnies 8. I have a few plays I want to rattle off to you really, really quick, Ben. Kayla Harris and Amy Hayford, that quick link up to get the 2 in the paint. Mandy McGurk, who is a starter this game, getting her hand into the passing lane for the steal. Right, Taya Davis, who's been playing big all day. She doesn't know her size. Scores off in transition turnover. Taylor Donaldson is a microwave. She has the big 3. She has the runner. Matilda Flood hits a 3. Amanda Nyborg denies Lessine deep in the post. I mean, Ben, you got to talk to me a little bit about the way that this Fordham basketball team has been able to open this particular game.
Well, look, I think the first quarter going on a 21-8 run, I think that's great to start this game, especially after what happened versus St. Joseph's. And that was, you know, as I've said, I've mentioned this on some of our On the Hill podcasts. Fordham women's basketball has just they've had some rough breaks, just in terms of losing close games by 3 or 4 points, and just really just having things not go their way. It's like everything is aligning to challenge them and prevent them from getting where they need to be. But the first quarter I was encouraged by, 21-8. But then in the second, St. Bonaventure started to go on a little bit of a run, 18-11, outscoring Fordham. And now at the half, Fordham's still up. They're up by 6 points, 32-26. I'll say I like what I'm seeing generally from overall from the field in terms of a shooting percentage. 43.8%. That's not bad at all. But then when you look at threes, 4 for 13 from beyond the arc, they've got to work on having good shot selection and just being more efficient, moving the ball and getting open shots, because it seems that at some moments, correct me if I'm wrong, they were just chucking it up there and maybe being a little reckless with it.
I mean, I will say at sometimes the basket just seems small because they had some good shots. Again, Bridgette Mitchell talks about it all the time, good shots to great shots. They had some great shots throughout that little run that they had, and some have just not followed. I just want to point you to the defense. Like a good mother sauce. It's consistent, it's good, and it tastes great. Their defense, right? You saw the 6-0 run, but that was the most impressive run that the Bonnies went on, right? I believe it was 3 straight scores there. And then you have that Haskell big-time 3 to, beat the shot clock violation. Stuff like that is going to happen. But Fordham's equilibrium going throughout the game, I think, is going to be the really, really big thing that I look for, right? Excuse me. I think really it's just their equilibrium, emotional, physical equilibrium, and it's as translation to war of attrition, right? Basketball is a game of runs, and Fordham has struggled to open in the past. I'm really interested to see if they can recapture some first half magic and defend their lead, right? Turnovers was another thing, Ben. I believe Bridgette Mitchell said that she wanted to keep it to 6. I believe Fordham's already at 5. Bridgette Mitchell knows more basketball than she knows. She's forgotten more basketball than I would know. But what I would encourage is don't worry about turnovers, right? High-octane offenses that move the ball around bound to have a high turnover rate. See Golden State Warriors with Steph and Clay and Dre. Coach Mitchell has I don't think she has to worry about that, right? Fordham works best in this game as a free-flowing offense. You just saw that, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, just to note, Fordham already has 8 turnovers.
8, excuse me.
So, they're starting to pile those up there, and you want to limit that when you can, obviously. Now, there's always going to be turnovers in the basketball game. That's just what it is. But when you're a coach, what drives you crazy is just unnecessary turnovers, things that shouldn't have happened, that were basically practically gimme points for the other team. But I will say a positive for Fordham in this first half. 22 out rebounding.
Oh my God.
St. Bonaventure 22-14. that's great to see that.
And this is we started a smaller lineup, if I'm not mistaken. They called out the smaller, and we were the smaller guys.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you just talk about like a good mother sauce. I'm gonna bring that reference up once more. It's like it's back to the basics. It's what we know, just crashing the glass, fighting for every loose ball. So, Ben, going into the second half, I wanted to ask you, because, again, my big thing was the equilibrium and the management of it, right? I'm not worried necessarily about this 6-point lead because I really think it's been bad for them on the part of getting St. Bonaventure staying in the game. I think it's been more bad for them than good St. Bonaventures, and I think it's Fordham games to lose, and they've been keeping St. Bonaventures in this game. And I think the key to the second half is going to be the equilibrium, right? You see Fordham's defense go out in spurts, and then you see them not do so well. And the same thing for the offense. What's the biggest key for you going into the second half?
Well, I think just keeping it under control, as I said earlier, limiting those unnecessary turnovers. And also on the offensive end, Taylor Donaldson, she's 5 for 11 from the field right now, 13 points. And if I'm Fordham right now, I'm looking to keep her offensively, just keeping up to production of what she was doing in that first half. 5 for 11 from the field is great. 45% shooting. 3 for 7 from beyond the arc. And that's just great. So if Fordham just cleans up their style of play and is disciplined and also lets Taylor Donaldson get her shots up and she keeps doing what she was doing in that first half, I think Fordham should be able to coast to a win for this game. But if Donaldson starts to get cold, if we see more of those unnecessary turnovers,
we have to see.
If Fordham also stops rebounding like they did in the first half, then this game could go to the Bonnies.
I mean, I got to tell you, I'm set on Fordham's rebounding. It's something that we're known to do. Taylor Donaldson's heating. She's like a microwave, right? Once she gets going, she's fantastic. I don't bet on her either getting cold. And to tell you the truth, it's not too far off, right? This Fordham team, even in their losses, you go back to, I'm not talking about, of course, our Virginia losses, our St. Joe's loss. You go back to the Siena loss, right, where we lose 62-65, right? And then you got games like against Fairfield, 77-74. Close, winnable games when Fordham is able to come out and open strong. 17 points in the first, 17, 13, instead of like 8 and immediately 7. So I think, again, and Chris Carrino said it, this is a ball club that could be in the last 5-3 instead of 3-5. This Fordham team is better than a 5-8 record, right? And I think this game proves it. And I think this game really could be the turning of the tide. I don't know if you agree with that, but if they win this game, it really shows that Fordham is still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. As I've said, they've just gotten some really rough breaks in non-conference, and those games have been really close. So look, they just gotta, if they pull out with the win here, that's a great way to kind of wash away the sins of what happened against St. Joseph's. And also, I just want to add, they should try to, in this second half, Fordham should try to shut down Lassen. She's taken 10 shots. She's 4 for 10 from the field. She's got 8 points so far. Try to avoid her getting hot from beyond the arc or just inside the basket, in the paint, and just try to shut her down.
I mean, you saw that big Amanda Nyborg block that she had on her. I think they'll be able to keep Lassen in check. Or who knows? Lassen's been a great player in the first half. A lot of different points, right, for discourse, but talk is indeed cheap, and we will just have to see. We are going to leave it up to the Fordham Rams to leave it out on the court. That's going to do it for us here in the studio for now. You will see us again. For Ben Oppenheimer, I am Madi Dembele, and it's going back to Lou Orlando and Chris Carrino. Boys, take it away.
Ben and Madi, thank you so much for that halftime report. It's Lou Orlando and Chris Carrino back with you here at the Rose Hill Gymnasium. Fordham ahead 32-26 after one half of play. And you go up against this St. Bonaventure team, sure ranked dead last in the A-10 preseason poll, but won their first A-10 game of the season on December 30th. They beat Loyola Chicago. For Fordham, you're 0-2 in conference play, lost in overtime to Duquesne, and then you get crushed by St. Joe's. You'd really like to get that first conference run out of the way, and right now they're in a good position to get that.
Yeah, this is an extremely important part of the season. It can't go understated. It's not exaggeration. It's truly one of the most important parts of this season. Just at the beginning of A10 time, you can really kind of shape your season and what kind of success you want for the rest of the conference season into the playoffs. And it all kind of starts right now. Both of these teams kind of in similar positions. St. Bonaventure maybe when we're talking A10, maybe in a slightly better position, but both teams just looking to make a name for themselves, looking to prove a lot of people wrong too as well, Lou. And overall, just big chips on both of these shoulders on both sides in the conference.
You know, and there's been a lot of the focus directed to Fordham offensively. That was the area of uncertainty coming into this season. The offense has been trending in the wrong direction the last few games, but quietly the defense had been an issue the last 2 games. Obviously, UVA and St. Joe's are 2 of the elite offenses that you're going to play this year. But still, back-to-back games where you allow 10 3-pointers, that's something that can't happen. When you look at this game, so far only 3 3-pointers made for the St. Bonaventure. 2 of them come from Peyton Fields at the end of the game, or at the end of the half rather. That Fordham's done a nicer job of closing out on that perimeter. And you look at Danny Haskell that came into this game off a career-high 27 points. She's been absolutely electric this year for St. Bonaventure. She was pretty quiet in that first half, just 5 points. Really didn't have the ball in her hands all that much.
Yeah, she's forcing it just a little bit. I mean, there's an obvious component of that where she isn't touching the ball as much, so maybe she's trying to take advantage of her touches as much as she can, but she really needs to depend on her teammates more. Look to make the right play, not the play that is going to, end up with her taking a 15-footer or a 25-footer, but really just trying to make the right play. She draws so much attention to herself. I even noted it when she pump faked on the 3-point line. It sent her defender flying. The implication of what she can do out there on the court, she needs to use that anticipation and use it to feed her teammates and get her team back in the mix here.
The story of this St. Bonaventure team that 4-8, 1-0 in conference, well, their success early on compared to what they had last year has really been boosted by their 2 transfers, Haskell from Canisius, Isabella Middleton from Slippery Rock. But I think the star of this game for them has been their returning player, Nadeshka Lessine. They have 7 returning players, but she's the one that's probably their best. Second on the team in scoring last year behind Diana Lops.
And you can't forget the return of Jim Crowley as well. Jim Crowley's so important to this team, coming back to the team over this last summer, similarly to Coach Bridgette Mitchell on the other sideline, but he is so important to this team. He's the reason in that second quarter that their offense really got cooking. The sets he was running, they were so crisp and smooth, really getting open shots wherever they wanted, and those open shots, they're going to be the story of the game for St. Bonaventure. If they can get those open shots and they can score them and they can use them to their advantage, they'll have a really good chance of competing in this game. But if they can't find open shots and they can't make those shots, it's going to be Fordham's game to run away with.
Lessine found some open shots to the tune of 8 points in the second quarter. That leads the team through one half of play. Peyton Fields behind her on the bench with 7 points. You look at Fordham offensively, it's been Taylor Donaldson primarily, 13 points. We've already talked about her. Something that you mentioned, but let's get into it a little bit more, is Taya Davis, 8 points. It's been an up-and-down season for Taya Davis. Leads the A10 in turnovers. I think adjusting from the JUCO game to this game, bigger players, better athleticism, but she's come shot out of a cannon today, and she's really been, I think, the spark plug for them so far.
Absolutely. She's not used to the position she's in. Backing up Mandy McGurk on the bench starting the game, she has really taken that role, and she has made the most of it. She's really embraced that role, and you can tell whenever she's going downhill toward the basket in the lane, she just seemingly finds a way there and finds a way to score the layup. She's been fantastic this afternoon.
Donaldson, top of the key, pump fake, now right wing for Flood. Into the paint, Rose Nelson double team, back out Flood, right wing 3 is good. Fordham opens the second half with a 3 from Matilda Flood. 35-26, the Fordham lead up by 9. Haskell pump fake, drives the left lane, goes up, off the left block and in.
Body control there, super impressive around the basket.
She was kept quiet in the first half. That might not be the case this half. The pass to Taylor Donaldson, cutting back, door off the block and in. Fordham up by 9, 37-28, 9:15 and ticking in the third quarter.
I don't think I love anything more, Lou, than a nice backdoor pass.
Oh, it's a work of beauty, Chris.
Oh,
and that one certainly was. Behind the back dribble by Lessine, poked away by Donaldson. Donaldson, a Euro step move and finish. Taylor Donaldson, 4 points already in this third quarter, and forces the timeout from Jim Crowley. Fordham ahead by 11, 39-28 with 9 to play.
It's
no words.
No words. They're really putting on a show right now, specifically in the second half. First of all, that three to start the half, so important for this Fordham team, putting them back up to around 9 points. But they're starting to show their superiority in this matchup. And if they can continue this this style of play, but also this cadence, the way they're moving right now, it really could speak dividends not only for today and this matchup, but the rest of this in-conference season.
Taylor Donaldson, the A10 leader with 2.5 steals per game, gets herself some points off of a steal to force the timeout from Jim Crowley. She's up to 17 points now, 7 of 13 shooting. It's been a very efficient day for her. You look at this Fordham team, you mentioned the three-pointer. I think something that we've started to see Fordham did in the first half and bring it right back in the second half is, hey, get into your bigs and deep, force a double team, and then kick out. That's where those open threes have been for Taylor Donaldson. And now Matilda Flood coming off a game where she didn't score any points.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even look in their huddle when Fordham is kind of setting up everything in the timeout. They just look happy. They just look excited. This looks like a team with great vibes right now. And I think vibes are so important, especially during a 6-game losing streak. They're at kind of a rough part in their season right now. For the vibes to be this high on the Fordham side, really important sign for this team.
I think something that really stood out to me was we talked to Coach Mitchell, and she said, you know, I tried a couple different things with switching the starting lineup, switching some of our schemes. At a certain point, it's on them, and that is a brutally honest thing to hear from your coach. And if she's telling that to us, you got to think that she's told that to the locker room as well. So I think we know, based on what we've seen and what we've heard, that Coach Mitchell very hard on her players and holding them accountable. And to their credit, they've met the task today, coming out strong, 39-28 lead. And not for nothing, Chris, maybe not an easy environment to jump out to an early lead in, where I think these kids games are weird. There's a lot of energy, but it's also 11 in the morning, so I think it's a weird thing and not always a guarantee that you come shot out of the cannon, but they have today.
Yeah, Lou, I mean, Party in the USA is playing right now, and it's absolutely electric. I just want to acknowledge that really quick. But no, this Fordham team, obviously, their coach is hard on them, Coach Mitchell, but you could see it. This game started off poorly. It started off with 3 to 4 turnovers on the first 3 to 4 possessions for this Fordham team. It started as probably as bad as you could possibly start, but they have found their footing. They look like a new team. They look like a polished team, and if they can just continue to limit those turnovers, continue to play a clean game of basketball, I don't see them having any problem winning this game today.
And I've been so impressed. We've got the original starting 5 out there right now, which, as we mentioned, is a smaller starting 5 against St. Bonaventure, really just one true forward. So Fordham going 4 guards. You have Flood, Hayford, Donaldson, McGurk, and Rose Nelson, I think, notably getting the start over Miranda Nyborg. But they've played positionless basketball. They've been able to guard up whenever. And on this inbound, Amy Hayford rocks Tiana Johnson.
That's a foul.
They give a little handshake there, but Tiana Johnson sent hard to the ground, I think akin to when you run over the middle against a linebacker and you get decked. That's what that contact kind of looked like.
She hit her obnoxiously hard just now. Like, I don't want to understate it. She hit her very hard.
Baseline inbound. Fordham the full court press, and St. Bonaventure breaks it. Far corner 3. Danny Haskell, no good. The rebound by Napper, back to Haskell, now top of the key, Johnson. Johnson at the Fordham logo, 14 seconds on the shot clock, Middleton left wing. Top of the key, Johnson, swings right, Haskell, back up top, Johnson fakes and drives, now kicks out left wing, Dandridge, 3 on the shot clock, dribbles down left block, turnaround, she doesn't get the shot off. Kira Dandridge lost the shot clock a little bit, and that's an unforced turnover.
No, Lou, first of all, Lou, you were all over that play. Every aspect of that play, you were all over.
Thank you.
Second of all, I just feel like that defense, it's a good sign. Shot clock violations defensively, always a good sign, and just more positive energy on the defensive end for this Fordham team.
Left wing, Hayford into the paint. Rose Nelson, left block. Turns open and draws the foul on Taylor Napper. Faced the rim and drew contact. And that should be on the field, on the floor, and it will be. Baseline inbound for Fordham. Nelson checks out. Kayla Harris checks in. Lob for Flood, left elbow. Hands off McGurk. Back to Flood, right wing. Jabs and drives into the paint. Top of the key for McGurk. Resets. Amy Hayford dribble behind the back, shovels back, left wing 3, but to the Flood, buries it. 2 threes from Matilda Flood in the third quarter. Fordham ahead 42-28.
Big shot there, extending this lead to 14.
Napper left wing as St. Bonaventure crosses the timeline, breaks the press. It's near corner, Taylor Johnson. Hayford over committed. Johnson, the short corner, 2 bounces out. And the loose ball rolls out of bounds. I think the last touch by Taylor Donaldson, staying right here for St. Bonaventure.
Or that young man in the front row, either one.
You're not wrong, Chris. You're not wrong.
Heads up play on his part, though. Get the ball right back to the official.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
You got to stay ready when you're around the court.
Especially today.
Middleton near side. Hands off for Dandridge, right wing. Back to the far corner, Middleton. Middleton and Dandridge play catch. Now the lob to Napper, right elbow. Drives and gets it to go off glass. Napper slides to the ground. A contested 2. Bonaventure down 12. Davis drives the right lane. Her effort is short, but she draws the foul. I think the question is, was that after the fact? Yes, I think this foul will go against Fordham once the shot had gone up. So this will be Bonaventure ball, a baseline inbound. 7:19 left in the third quarter. Fordham ahead 42-30. It's Middleton with point duties as she crosses the timeline, guarded by Taya Davis. Taya Davis, a little reach, a little contact, called for the foul.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of foul, especially with how she's playing this afternoon, you can definitely take that and not be disappointed. It's her third foul, so her and Matilda Flood have to be careful. They're both on 3 fouls as Nyborg is checking in now. See who she's checking in for. Matilda Flood she'll check in for. Both of those women are on 3 fouls, so now it's only Davis. Davis is still in there with 3 fouls. She's got to play careful on the defensive end.
Far side inbound. Dandridge finds Napper in the far short corner. Into the paint for Johnson, guarded by Davis. Turns around, the shot is short. Harris the rebound. Davis outlet pass, left wing. Taylor Donaldson dribbles behind the back. Now wheels out off a screen from Harris, picks up the dribble, bounces to Harris, left block. Right wing now from McGurk as they reset. Top of the key, Davis swings left, Donaldson. Donaldson, pretty dribble move, left elbow, kicks out left wing, Nyborg. 10 on the shot clock. Top of the key, 3. Donaldson airballs. Rebound by Middleton. Middleton pushing the left lane on Nyborg. A wild pass thrown in the direction of Taylor Napper, off her foot into the hands of McGurk. McGurk shovels for Nyborg. Left wing 2 is good. Rolls in. Fordham leads 44-30.
Fordham continuing to lengthen this lead. They look like an absolute unit out there right now, playing as not as a collective, but as one.
Nyborg gets her first points of the ball game here in this third quarter. Napper faces the basket. Short corner 2 rolls out.
You can really see the unity on the defensive end.
Taya Davis straight on. Swings right side, Mandy McGurk. Top of the key, Nyborg. Left side, Donaldson. Swings it left wing, Davis. Bounces to the right block for Kayla Harris. Shovels for Taya Davis on the right block. Pump fake goes up. Won't go, but draws the foul on that'd be Isabella Middleton with the contact.
Davis has been so crafty, and just the footwork around the rim, it's been super impressive. I mean, she gets there in a flash. She's right under the basket, seemingly, she seemingly travels there through the space-time continuum. But as soon as she gets there, the moving, the pivoting, everything, she seems to be wide open under the basket way more than she should be.
First free throw from Davis. Bounces out. 8 points for her so far in 4 of 5 shooting. Notably, just 1 turnover. She averages 3.8 per game. 0 for 2 trip from Taya Davis at the line. Racine the rebound, pushes far side. Handoff for Haskell to the free throw line. Whips it near side for Dandridge. Amina Lee, a nice job to get a finger on it. Tips it out of bounds.
This Bonnie team not getting anything easy right now.
Amina Lee in for the first time in this quarter. Near side inbound, the lob, short corner for Napper. Napper drives on Lee. Has to kick out to Dandridge, left wing. Left wing drives on Nyborg. Swings far corner, the 3 from Racine, no good. Offensive rebound by Napper, back up and in. Displaying dominance over the much taller Amina Lee there to get that offensive rebound. 44-32, Fordham leads, 5:05 left in the third quarter. Donaldson right wing, off a Nyborg screen, dribbles left, back to Nyborg on the pick and roll. Back to the basket, spins off the right block. The shot is short, rebound by Haskell. Haskell, top of the key, delays, now drives, up with the left hand and in. Oh, a pretty hesitation move. And Danny Haskell up to 9 points now. Fordham lead at 10 with 4:35 to play in the third. Right wing Donaldson uses the Nyborg screen down to the free throw line. Pivoting around, throws up a wild shot. Nyborg the offensive rebound. Into the hands of McGurk, left wing. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Donaldson's shot didn't hit rim. McGurk uses a Nyborg screen. 3 on the shot clock. Step up 2 from the free throw line is good. At the shot clock buzzer, Fordham back up by 12.
Only Mandy McGurk can do that. Only Mandy McGurk with 5 seconds left can find an open shot within 12 feet.
Peyton Fields straight on 3 rolls out. Amina Lee fumbles with the rebound but secures it. Taya Davis at the Fordham logo, 3:50 and ticking in the third quarter. Almost has it poked away by Lassine. Now uses Amina Lee screen. Davis to the free throw line. Bounces left side for Taylor Donaldson, but called for a travel on that jab and jive. 3:42 left in the third quarter. It's Fordham up 46-34. Takes us to our media timeout. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, guys? I'm Julia Moss.
And I'm Will Talent.
And we're 2 of your hosts for one of WFUV's football podcasts, NFL Friday.
Tune in every Friday for all news and updates around the National Football League.
Also, we'll be making our picks of the week around the league on every episode. Check out NFL Friday wherever you get your podcasts to catch the action.
Back with you on Kids Day here at Rose Hill. It's Fordham leading 46-34. The Rams looking for their first conference win in the season. Lou Orlando, Chris Carrino. It's Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. And Chris, we've said it throughout this broadcast, but credit to Jim Crowley's group for sticking around, and that's what they continue to do. 46-34, the Fordham lead, but St. Bonaventure within 12. And I think Danny Haskell having a more pronounced
They love you,
effort.
Lou.
Oh my God,
They love
they're
you.
screaming their heads off. We got the fan cam going. These kids are loud, let me tell you. But Danny Haskell having a more pronounced impact in this third quarter. Just 4 points, but she's been active with the ball and making some pretty moves. And I think that's something that Fordham has to watch out for. Her heating up could change the complexion of this game.
Absolutely. I think kind of how she's played in this third quarter is kind of an amalgamation of the whole game. It feels like they're just not putting these Bonnies away. These Bonnies are still sticking around, and I feel like in these games, especially down the stretch here in the middle of the third quarter, you can't have teams sticking around without putting them away, because you never know when 8 points or 6 points or 10 points is going to come really fast, and that lead is going to get really, really small. They can't allow that to happen. This Fordham team has to continue to assert dominance on every possession, offensively and defensively, and if they do that, I think they'll hold their lead. But if they kind of maybe get distracted by the Kids Day festivities around them, they can have some trouble later in this game.
St. Bonaventure averaging 59.1 points per game. I think you make the case that their offense hasn't realized their full potential today when you look at Isabella Militant averaging 10.6 points per game. Only with 2 today, 1 for 5 shooting. She's coming off a double-double, so they've really kept her off the offensive impact a lot.
And also, just in general, the St. Bonaventure team has a reputation for being able to shoot the ball. That kind of efficiency hasn't been here this afternoon, but as we both know, that could come at any time, and this Fordham team needs to stay vigilant.
Fordham up by 12, 3:42 left in the third quarter. Full court press on the baseline inbound. It's Lassine with Davis up on her. Lassine crosses the timeline. Picks up her dribble at the Fordham logo, looking for a handoff. She finds Haskell far side. Aggressive defense by Fordham up on the perimeter. Left wing Lassine, guarded by Davis. Top of the key Haskell. Jab and drive. Along the left lane, goes up wildly and can't get it to go. Donaldson the rebound. It's Davis on the near side Fordham logo. Fordham in white and maroon moving left to right. Flood right wing back to Davis. Davis controls with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hayford swings left. Donaldson the left wing three. Off front iron. Rebound by Dandridge.
This Fordham team looks slightly combobulated on the offensive end.
Dandridge far side. 2:40 left in the third quarter. Napper right elbow drives on Nelson. And Nelson holds strong and forces the travel on Napper. Napper initiated contact with Nelson and got thrown off a bit.
Is that our first travel we've seen? Just kidding, of course, folks. We've seen many.
Taya Davis crosses the timeline. 2:30 left in the third quarter. Left wing for Flood. Bounces for Taya Davis in the same spot. Top of the key, Donaldson swings right. Amy Hayford on Haskell, goes up with a left. The strong layup is good. Amy Hayford's been quiet today, but that's her 6th point of the night. Fordham ahead 48-35, 2:10 and ticking. Lassine drives the right lane on Taya Davis, gets it to go and draws the foul. And one for Nadeshka Lassine. She's had an impressive day, and that'll take her to 10 points.
Gonna get some substitutions here.
Kayla Harris comes in, Taylor Donaldson comes out. Haskell and Napper head to the bench for St. Bonaventure. As it's Peyton Fields and Claire Cody in with Isabella Middleton.
Game standout, Taya Davis also sits down.
Lassine a chance to finish the three-point play. Free throw up and good. 11 points now.
That's a big three-point play, Lou. This is an 11-point game. This game is nowhere near over right now.
48-37, Fordham leads. Tick under 2 minutes left to play in the third. McGurk bounces right side for Matilda Flood. Uses the McGurk screen. Lobs it for Nelson, right elbow. Kicks out, left wing three. Amy Hayford, no good. Flood the offensive rebound. Resets for McGurk. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Flood, right side. Drives left into the paint. Goes up with the left hand. Won't go. Rebound by Dandridge. Outlet pass ahead to Lassine. The reverse lay. Blocked by Rose Nelson. Getting back in transition. Hayford goes the other way. Now wheels out and slows it down. Top of the key, Flood. Left side, McGurk. Back up top. Amy Hayford drives the left lane. Goes up with the right. It's short. Can't have the finishing touch there. Middleton straight on with 1:05 left to go in the third quarter. Fordham still up by 11. Middleton dribbles left, finds Lassine in the short corner. Bounces in the paint. Middleton goes up with the right hand, got herself open and gets the easy bucket.
Lou, it's a single-digit game. It's a 9-point game right now, 48-39. This St. Bonaventure team is not going away. I wouldn't hit the panic button yet if I was Fordham, but it's getting close to that point.
5-0 run for St. Bonaventure. 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Amy Hayford at the free throw line. Left wing Flood. Into the paint for Kayla Harris. Has it swatted away, but bats it ahead to Flood. Flood finds Harris on the left block, and that will be called a travel. Fordham, I think you used the word discombobulated. They look discombobulated in that possession. A little wild from the start and just couldn't get anything to materialize.
Yeah, there's just been an offness to this Fordham offense in this third quarter. I even saw it. I really noticed it on the offensive end a couple possessions ago when Taya Davis gave Matilda Flood a pass around the arc, and Matilda Flood wasn't even expecting it. It's a discombobulation that's really hurting them offensively right now.
Harris checks out. Nyborg and Nelson, the two forwards, in for Fordham. Shot clock is off. 15 seconds in taking on our third quarter. Dandridge controls right side. Hands off Middleton. Middleton loses it with 10 seconds. Gets it back. Drives the right lane. The floater, no good. Nyborg the rebound with 5 seconds left. Ahead to McGurk. 3, 2. The logo heave. Off the top of the backboard. Much too strong. Our third quarter comes to an end. with a 5-0 St. Bonaventure run. 48-39, the Fordham lead. As they only lead by 9, and with that, let's send it back to the Rose Hill Studios. Ben Oppenheimer has your one-on-one scoreboard update.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Looking at some games being played tonight in the top 25 across the country, the number 23 ranked Providence faces the 8-5 Seton Hall Pirates at home at 6:30, which will be broadcast on FS1. And at 8 p.m., number 16 ranked Clemson heads to South Florida as they play the 10-2 Miami Hurricanes, which will be broadcast on ESPN. Going through tonight's A10's men's matchups once again, the 9-3 St. Bonaventure Bonnies head to Virginia to play the 8-5 VCU Rams at 9 p.m. on CBS Sports. At 6:30, second place George Mason, who currently has an 11-2 record heading into their first game of conference play, take on the 9-4 LaSalle Explorers in Philly. Looking at the 7 p.m. matchups, the 8-5 Loyola Chicago Ramblers are in St. Louis tonight to play the 7-6 Billikens. The 6-7 URI Rams will face the 10-3 St. Joseph's Hawks in Rhode Island. The 9-3 Duquesne Dukes head to New England to play the 9-3 UMass Minutemen. The 10-2 Dayton Flyers are in North Carolina to play the 10-3 Davidson Wildcats and will be broadcast on CBS Sports. And last but not least for 7 p.m. matchups in the A10, the Fordham Rams are in Washington to play the conference-leading GW Revolutionaries, which will be the first game of conference play for both teams. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. and will be broadcast on 90.7 FM and WFUV Sports YouTube Live. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
Back with you from the Rose Hill Gymnasium, 3 quarters down, 1 to go. It's Fordham leading St. Bonaventure 48-39. A Wednesday morning Atlantic 10 matchup and field trip day, as this place is still packed with all the kids that have come to cheer on the Fordham Rams. And for Fordham, when it comes to serious matters, they're looking to get their first conference win of the season, but St. Bonaventure proving to be a tough out right now. St. Bonaventure coming in ranked dead last in the A10 preseason poll. They put up a tough matchup today. Nadesha Lassine leads the way with 11 points and 5 of 13 shooting. And Jim Crowley's return to the helm of St. Bonaventure. They have seen some increased success, especially based on what they were expected to do coming in. 4-8 coming into this season, 1-0 in conference play. And they have stayed right in striking distance with the Fordham Rams only trailing by 9. Nadesha Lassine controls. The Fordham logo swings left for Dandridge. Double team by Donaldson and Flood, and Donaldson coming in a bit too strong there. Initiates contact and the foul on Donaldson. Fordham in a little bit of foul trouble here. Taya Davis 4 fouls, Matilda Flood 3. That's the first foul of the game for Taylor Donaldson. Peyton Fields, right wing. Sets top of the key, Lassine swings left to 3. Claire Cody bounces out. Offensive rebound secured by Dandridge. Back up top, Peyton Fields swings left, Lassine, dribble drive into the paint, goes up, contested, and gets it to go off glass. What a move by Nadesha Lassine, 13 points today, and the Fordham lead is 7.
I told you, I've been saying it for 2 quarters, Lou. You can't let this St. Bonaventure team hang around.
Taylor Donaldson left elbow extended into the paint for Miranda Nyborg, and a little hop there in the paint. They'll call that the travel. A turnover on Fordham, and St. Bonaventure with momentum gets the ball back, a 7-0 run.
This is where it can get a little sticky for this Fordham team if they continue to be careless with their turnovers on the offensive end, and this St. Bonaventure offense continues to play how they're playing. Could be some rough times for this Fordham team.
Peyton Fields guarded tightly by Hayford. Left wing 3. Claire Cody can't hit the open shot. The offensive rebound, Middleton spins around the block, goes up with the right hand and rolls it in. And now Lassine steals the ball off the inbound. St. Bonaventure with ball, trailing by 5, 48-43, 8:50 to play. Peyton Fields, far corner 3, rolls out. Another near offensive rebound for St. Bonaventure.
Lou, it just seems like all of the advantages Fordham have had have kind of evaporated here almost. They don't really have that dominance on the offensive and defensive glass they had earlier in the game. And offensively, they've kind of gone back to their ways of the first quarter, early in that first quarter, where it's just sloppiness on the offensive end. They need to clean that up.
Struggling on the glass, Kira Dandridge losing her feet, the only reason this Fordham ball right now. Lee swings it wide open for Taylor Donaldson on the right block, and Fordham gets 2 points back.
Being able to facilitate, Lou, out of the low post, such an important feature in your game, especially if you're going to play big.
Just the second assist on the season for Amina Lee, but a pretty one at that. Fordham ahead 50-43, 8:15 to go. It's Lassine, far side. Top of the key, Dandridge, guarded by Flood. Dribbles right. Wheeling around to the short corner, resets, top of the key, Claire Cody. The jab and drive and called to the travel. How often do you see that? How often have you seen it today? They get her there.
This is important here, Lou. I mean, it was a 5-point game. That bucket from Taylor Donaldson on the last possession, very important. But another bucket here would truly be important.
Mandy McGurk crosses the timeline off a Flood screen. 7:54 and ticking. It's Taylor Donaldson with the ball on the left elbow. We've got a call on the floor.
It's on Claire Cody, I think, down low.
Claire Cody, the shove down low. And with that, she'll check out.
Lee was begging for the Cody foul there. She finally got it. Sigh of relief on her face after the foul was called.
Taylor Napper checks in. Baseline inbound to Amy Hayford. Lobs it to the left elbow. Matilda Flood spins around. The fadeaway two is good, but called for the travel. Looked like she got a little choppy with her feet there.
I don't know, Lou. I don't know. I saw 2 steps, personally.
It was a pretty move, and if had that one had counted, it would have been one of the prettier shots we've seen this season from Matilda Flood. That one, certainly borderline, Chris.
The refs' arms are going to get stuck in that motion if they continue to call travels.
13 turnovers for Fordham today, 12 for St. Bonaventure. Far corner, Lassine drives on Nelson, pull up 2, no good. And this one off the fingertips of Taylor Napper and out of bounds. Fordham ball with 7:36 to play.
Very important defensive possessions for this Fordham team. They've fared very well on the defensive end the last 2 or 3 possessions. Very important here to get a bucket. 7-point lead and a 9-point lead, at least to me, seem very different.
The 5 in crunch time for Fordham includes Amina Lee off the injury. She gets the ball on the left block, pivoting around, goes up with the left wildly, and no good. But Taylor Napper called for the foul, and curious to see, is this on the shot from Lee or after the fact on the rebound effort? It looks like Amina Lee going to the line, so they'll get a shooting foul on Taylor Napper.
For 1 second, I would love to talk about where the score is right now as well. 50-43. This Fordham team really wants to score more points. Last 2 games really haven't scored much, and they're still not on pace to score a ton of points. A very low-scoring matchup here overall this afternoon.
Lee buries the first free throw, and now a perfect 2-for-2 trip. Amina Lee, the 6'4" center, 10 for 12 from the line this season. It gives Fordham a 9-point cushion with 7:23 to play. Those free throws coming up big, especially after the 0 for trip from Taya Davis earlier when the lead was a bit bigger.
Yeah, very important trip to the free throw line.
Middleton right block,
Nice
tries
steal.
to kick out. It's intercepted by Taylor Donaldson. Fordham will push it. Amy Hayford driving the left lane, gets it to go. The Fordham lead back to double digits, an 11-point lead, 54-43, and even 7 minutes to play.
Good defense always translates to good offense, and we saw it there. Very important points for this Fordham team.
Lassine, the lob for Middleton, tipped by Donaldson, secured by McGurk. McGurk swings left wing, Amy Hayford, pump fake, drives the left block and gets it to go.
Nifty work, last 2 possessions to get to the rim for Amy Hayford. Massive points as well, bringing this Fordham lead all the way back out to 13.
56-43, the Fordham lead. 4 straight points from Amy Hayford. Raises her total to 8 and forces the timeout from Jim Crowley. And Chris, just when I thought that it seemed like maybe momentum switching back the way of St. Bonaventure, and oh no, we're going to have another close 4th quarter game. Well, Fordham doesn't want that to be the case, and they're springing back ahead here on this nice nifty run.
Yeah, this game was closer than I assume a lot of people will remember looking back on it. It was a 5-point game at one point, and St. Bonaventure had the ball. They had a chance to make it a 1-possession game at one point, but this Fordham team almost correcting every mistake that they were making in that little stretch there, being aggressive on the defensive and offensive glass, making sure there's good ball movement on the offensive end, and scoring when you get open shots. That's been the formula for this Fordham team all afternoon long. When they've stuck to that game plan, they've played well. This last stretch here of the last few minutes has shown that, and this 13-point lead looks like a good cushion for this Fordham team.
An 8-0 run for Fordham. I've been impressed with their ability to spark themselves a couple times in this game. And maybe it was just me coming in, and this is a college kid. 11 a.m. is an early time to start a game. This is the earliest game of the season. This is going to be the earliest start time of the season. I get it, 11 a.m. in the grand scheme of things, not that early.
Any sporting event pre-1 o'clock is definitely interesting.
Maybe too early for me, but I think especially you can see morning hangovers for collegiate teams, and to push the curtain back a little bit, well, 11 a.m. start time means a 9 a.m. call time for us. That also means that Fordham usually showing up to the court, getting some shots up around 9 a.m. So this game got started early for them. They shot out of a cannon, and then you see them cool off, but able to get themselves back up. We talk about Coach Mitchell holding them accountable and saying, hey, a lot of this is on you guys, and that's what they've done today, I think.
Yeah, there's another component to the fatigue as well. They're not playing any zone defense. They're playing strictly man defense all game long today. If anyone's ever played man defense that long, you know how exhausting it can be. And I think that, along with the early start time, may have been why Fordham may have come out to a slow start, and maybe why they've had some slow stretches kind of in between intermittently throughout this game so far.
11 a.m. games, not easy to get up for, but we did it, and Fordham women's basketball, for the most part today, has done so. A 56-43 lead as they're back up by 13 on this 8-0 run.
And also, when tip-off time started around 11 o'clock, it did not feel like 11 o'clock in here. The energy was incredible, to describe it in one word, and really brought all the energy that may have been gone from that man defense and that early start time. They have brought it back into this Fordham program through just how electric it's been in this gym all afternoon long.
And, I'll say this, full transparency, these kid days are fun, but they're also kind of a wild card where sometimes half the kids leave at halftime, but this crowd has stayed. I mean, we're about as close to a full packed arena as Fordham women's basketball has had this season.
Absolutely.
They've stayed in it, they've stayed here physically, but they've also stayed engaged, so that energy level has been pretty consistent. Sometimes they tire themselves out. That hasn't been the case today. It's Haskell, left wing. Lobs it for Napper, left elbow extended, drives into the paint on Amina Lee. Oh, a pretty move up and under, and gets it to go off glass.
It's unfair to the St. Bonaventure team, but they've had a bit of a Washington Generals vibe in this gym today. Seems like just nobody is rooting for them. Very quiet when they score, as you get a push-off foul there from Mandy McGurk at the top of the key. It's going to go back the Bonnies' way, but just the energy in this building. Obviously, hundreds of kids here rooting on the Fordham Rams. Got to be a tough environment for this Bonnies team to play in.
And they've withstood it so far, trailing by 11 with 6:10 to go. They're showing the replay on the big screen. Mandy McGurk did not like that offensive foul call, but a little bit of a push off there. McGurk gets in the way of that Middleton pass, swats it out of bounds. A good read there along that right wing.
Frustration being used in a good way there from Mandy McGurk. She's coming out aggressive on this defensive possession.
Now she'll pressure the far side inbound for Middleton. It's the same five for Fordham coming back from break. Donaldson, Hayford, Nelson, Lee, and Mandy McGurk. Top of the key, Haskell. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Haskell drives in, tries to kick out. But Lee and McGurk get in the way of that passing lane. Knock it out of bounds. It'll stay here for St. Bonaventure with 9 seconds on the clock.
Well, they're going to have to get something quick here. I could very well see Haskell being involved in this after passing it in.
Haskell, the trigger man. That play whistled dead before it starts. A foul on Taylor Donaldson before action can resume her second. She finds Napper on the far side. Handoff to Haskell, and before she can get a shot off, looks like a penalty against Fordham on that screen, trying to run through it. That'll be the fourth team foul for Fordham in this quarter. 20 seconds of the shot clock as it resets with the penalty. Peyton Fields, right wing, hands off Napper in the corner. Back out to the corner for Fields. Pump, fake, and drive. Right block, two, gets it to go. Oh, she was sideways when that shot went in.
What a shot.
Knocked to the ground by Rose Nelson. Withstands the contact. 56-47, the Fordham lead. 5:25 to play. Hayford left wing to Amina Lee in the left side. Tries to hand off to Hayford. It's stolen by Haskell. Haskell speeding ahead. Wheeling around the right block. Bounces for Lassine and missed connection there. Lassine just couldn't quite see that pass. Looked to be a tick off. I think they'll say tip by Fordham here, so it will stay here with Bonaventure.
Baseline referee pretty adamant about that. Amy Hayford disagreed.
Haskell finds Napper. Back to Haskell. Near corner 3 off front iron. And Nelson the rebound. Fordham still up 9. McGurk left wing. Drives into the paint. Takes contact. Shot won't go. McGurk's going to the line. Haskell hit the ground hard. That'll be 2 free throws for Fordham.
Mandy McGurk, like a bulldog running in there. Bull in a china shop, moreover. And that's going to happen once in a while. Sometimes you're going to take the charge call. Sometimes it's going to be blocking. That's kind of comes with the trade and comes with the job. But Mandy McGurk, the way she's been aggressive down in low, surprised she hasn't gotten fouled more going to the basket, to be honest with you.
Mandy McGurk held scoreless in the first half. Her first free throw bounces out. Just 2 points today for Mandy McGurk. Came in averaging 12.7 on 44% shooting her last 5. Nails the second free throw, 1 for 2 trip. It's a 57-47 lead. As the clock takes under 5 minutes, 4:55. Middleton trips herself on a crossover move, but keeps dribbling and recovers. Now into the far corner, Peyton Fields. Poked away by Donaldson, recovered by Flood.
Fantastic defensive play there by Donaldson to poke the ball away.
Fordham forces 20 turnovers per game nearly. They get one there. It's 14 today for St. Bonaventure. Donaldson left elbow drive, rolls it off glass. An impressive contested shot by Taylor Donaldson. 19 points for her today.
21 actually.
Oh my. Good catch there, Chris.
Scoring in bunches this afternoon.
Driving to the paint, Middleton. The turnaround 2 no good. Nelson the rebound.
And Lou, just a little more on Taylor Donaldson. They call her TD. She scored three TDs today with 21 points. She has been the X factor for this Fordham team. And she's really, at least offensively, the real reason why Fordham is where they are right now in this game.
She's led the offensive effort. It's a 12-point lead for Fordham.
You like that, Lou? 3 TDs for TD?
I do like that. I'm a big pun fan myself. The lob underneath. Taylor Napper wide open for the right block hook.
Again, Lou, they're not going away. It's still a 10-point game, 54-49. 4 minutes left in this game. Definitely more miraculous things have happened.
Bonaventure down 10. Taya Davis controls. Swings left elbow extended for Donaldson. The 2 off right iron. Nice box out by Napper. Secures the rebound off a bounce. Haskell left wing. Pump fake and drive. Cross court pass for Tiana Johnson. Right wing 3 buries it. Bonaventure back within 7 on a clutch 3 from their starting point guard.
Jim Crowley's group not going away anytime soon.
59-52, 3:19 and ticking. Donaldson shovels left wing. Hayford wheels around into the paint. The pretty lefty lane rolls in. 61-52, the Fordham lead.
Huge offensive possession here for the Bonnies.
Taylor Napper, right block, fades away off glass. The strong shot on Rose Nelson. Bonaventure back, trailing 61-54.
The strength from Napper inside there, really impressive.
Taya Davis at the Fordham logo, 2:43 and ticking. Davis dribble drive, resets top of the key. Nelson swings left. Hayford back up top. Donaldson drives the left lane, swings for Nelson, right block. Goes up, trying to draw the foul, couldn't get it, and the shot too strong off the backboard. The pass from Lassine goes awry right in front of us. I almost had a chance to touch that ball. I thought better of it, don't want to interfere, of course.
Almost ended on our lap.
I was kind of hoping. I haven't had that to happen this year, but I always like when the ball comes into play, get to show off the old middle school basketball days.
I was just protecting our tie line more than anything.
See, you're What you were doing was probably more.
The priorities are in different places.
You're probably a better man than I am.
Could you make it from here?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
Sitting down?
Maybe not sitting down.
I was about to say.
Near side inbound, Hayford wheels around, now resets Taya Davis, top of the key, drives the left lane, it's short, and the rebound recovered by Haskell.
Haskell moving with a sense of purpose right now.
2-10, Bonaventure trails by 7. Haskell, free throw line, swings left for Johnson. The short corner 2 bounces out. The rebound tipped to Rose Nelson. And now Nelson, smothered by Johnson, draws the foul. And Nelson will get some high fives from her teammates on the floor. And now will get checked out by Miranda Nyborg.
And also, Lou, I love that call from the referee there. I feel like a lot of times when players may get tied up or in that situation, it's very easy to call a jump ball, but right call there, calling the foul.
Taya Davis controls. Fordham protects a 7-point lead. Ahead to Flood, bounces into the paint for Miranda Nyborg. Back to the far corner, Flood, back to Nyborg as they play catch. 14 on the shot clock, now top of the key, Hayford. Minute 35 on the game clock. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Hayford uses the Nyborg screen. Left wing 3 is no good. Donaldson swats it out of bounds.
Sent it to the dance team.
Bonaventure ball, a 3-possession game with a minute 30 to play. Fordham, a full court press with Flood and Hayford in the front court. Now Nyborg cheats up as well.
Coach Mitchell said she didn't want to run the press because she knows how good of shooters they have, and she knows how good their coach is at getting them open. We'll see. She was right here.
Bonaventure breaks the press. Middleton, right wing to Lassine. Lassine dribble behind the back, swings left wing Johnson. Johnson left lane drive. Back into the paint. Napper loses the ball, recovers on the far short corner. Finds Johnson, right elbow 2, step back, no good. Rebound by Davis, a minute 4 to play. Davis pressured by Lassine, pretty crossover, crosses the timeline. Davis tried to split 2 defenders and get it to the far corner.
We're in the wrong borough, Lou, because that was Broadway-worthy moves from Davis moving down the court.
Couple defenders get in the way. This will be Fordham ball when we come back off the turnover. Off the out-of-bounds play, rather. 56.8 seconds left. The timeout by St. Bonaventure, and you credit them for sticking around, but I think you look up at the clock right now, trailing by 7. Time certainly becoming a factor and not working in their favor.
No, absolutely not. And it felt like the St. Bonaventure team did a good job of crawling back into contention of this game, but they're playing against the clock, and as you said, just maybe not enough time for this Bonnies team.
Trailing by 7. It'll be Fordham ball on a baseline inbound.
Sure Fordham would love to break that 6-game losing streak on field day today.
Donaldson lobs for Matilda Flood, right elbow, hands off for Donaldson, off the screen. Whoa. Donaldson driving the lane, out of control. We've got a foul on the floor. As she drew contact on that drive, I think Keisha Middleton the guilty party. The ref's trying to figure this all out. We've got a scrum in the paint right now.
Referees did a good job of handling the situation.
Doesn't seem to be too aggressive, just I think both teams arguing the foul call. And now they'll send Bonaventure back to their bench. Fordham will stay on their side. And I'm not sure that we have an official call on this foul yet. I think
Jim Crowley is very upset with the referees right now.
I think he even just said, what's going on? I think we know foul on the floor. They've actually got a ref coming over right now. Intentional foul?
Yeah, intentional foul seems like. Thank you to the referee for coming over and making us feel included.
Oh, of course. I like when they let us know what's going on. So the referee comes over, an intentional foul. That sends Fordham into the bonus.
Yeah.
So we should be getting free throws here.
Yeah, all the kids getting on their winter coats right now. Seems like they think Fordham has got this one in the bag.
They can smell a Fordham win. Yeah. They've been energetic today. I think they're ready to get out of here. Refs still sorting this out over on the far side of the court. We've got both teams in huddles, and for Fordham, a chance with free throws to make this a 9-point game. And I think that's an important benchmark to hit. Sure, a 3-possession game, but that's 3 threes, and that's a really tough thing to do, especially for a Bonaventure team that's been 4 of 18 from beyond the arc. Has not been a strong suit today.
No, absolutely not. And we haven't seen these low-scoring numbers from the St. Bonaventure team. Haven't been a team that's really scored in the 50s and 60s, but Fordham's done a great job defensively today of really staying on them. And it seems like the consistency from this Fordham team has really come from the defensive end. They've had their struggles offensively kind of periodically throughout this game, but the defense has really stayed in a consistent place, and I think that's why that point total is so low right now.
And coming into this game, defending the three-point line had not been a skill for Fordham in the last 2 games when you look at back-to-back games with 10 three-pointers made. He went up against UVA, who was one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the nation, and they absolutely nailed the threes in the first half, and then St. Joe's let you up too. Now they've changed it back to a common foul. I still wonder, that's the 5th for St. Bonaventure, so that should still put Fordham in the bonus, but just a common foul. And we've got Taylor Donaldson at the line. This will be a 1-and-1. Donaldson, 9 of 19, 21 points, looking to add to it from the line. Buries the first free throw.
22nd point of the night for Taylor Donaldson.
Fordham ahead 62-54 with 52.1 seconds left. This to make it a 9-point game. She sinks it. Perfect trip for Taylor Donaldson, 23 points. Middleton runs the baseline looking for an opening, lobs ahead to Johnson. Crosses the timeline, swings it right for Haskell. Into the hands of Johnson, the right wing 3 is good, rolls in. The deep 3 from Tiana Johnson. That keeps Bonaventure alive for the moment, down 6. And now whistles. And Haskell with the reach-in foul.
Yeah, that was a great timeout called by Coach Mitchell there. She saw the opportunity of TD maybe getting trapped on the baseline or on the sideline across from us, and she saw the danger was imminent, and she decided to call a timeout.
3 timeouts left for Fordham, and Coach Mitchell uses one here. So bring the ball over to the offensive half court for Fordham. Will make the inbound a little bit easier, but we said it, Bonaventure down 9. They're going to need a few threes. They're going to need a few stops. They get the first 3. Tiana Johnson buries a deep 3 from the right wing.
And she was wide open. I saw next to her Haskell was a little upset she took the shot, but I think if you're wide open and you have free space to get the shot off and get your release off, I think you should take it, especially in that position where a three-pointer could really do a lot for your team, being down 9, and that clock not doing you any favors, and that clock really playing against you for the rest of this game.
Bonaventure without Madi Dyskowski. She's their three-point specialist, but Claire Cody has led the team in three-point percentage. She is not out on the court right now for this defensive set. Now Bonaventure quickly fouls.
Yeah, the foul game begins.
Third foul for Middleton. Sends Amy Hayford to the line. It's a 2-possession game right now, 63-57 Fordham. A 1-and-1 for Hayford. They'll say this is 2 from the line. Hayford's first rolls out. An empty trip here would keep this in a 2-possession game, and 39.6 seconds left.
Curious to see when Coach Crawley uses his last time out for this Bonnies team.
Second free throw also rolls out, rebound. Knocked out of bounds, and they'll say Bonaventure ball off the hands of Matilda Flood. A big over trip there by Amy Hayford.
Massive play here. The refs are trying to decide whether they're going to review this, but I don't think they're going to. 6-point game with the ball. Bonaventure in a good spot right now.
Full court press into the hands of Johnson.
35 seconds left.
Far side, 33 and taking now. Johnson drives the right lane on Flood, swatted by Flood. Johnson tries to save it, knocks it into the hands of Flood. What a defensive stop by Matilda Flood, coming up big. St. Bonaventure, a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game, but Matilda Flood blocks Tiana Johnson down low. And now Bonaventure has to foul again with 21.9 seconds.
Yeah, that might be the biggest play that was made in this game. You really see the St. Bonaventure team dribbling down on the offensive end, just down 6. The dangerous place to be, but the defensive stand put on display. So important for this Fordham team.
Donaldson to the line. Her first free throw is good. Fordham back up by 8. Or by 7, excuse me. I got a little ahead of myself. Flood's second block of the game. 7 blocks for Fordham, none for Bonaventure. The free throw rolls out. A 7-point lead for Fordham. 15 seconds and ticking. Middleton drives the right lane. Gets by Davis. Can't finish the lay. Flood speeds ahead. Draws the foul from Haskell. 9.9 seconds left, and Fordham in a spot to put this one away and get their first conference win.
Yeah, this Fordham team desperate for a win. Not only are they looking for their first conference win, but they're also on a 6-game losing streak. This is a super important win to get out there against legitimate competition as well. St. Bonaventure is A10 competition, and just to get a win out here, just such a confidence booster as they move forward into some of their away games they have coming up. And yeah, just overall great afternoon for their team.
Matilda Flood, a 1-for-2 trip from the line. 65-57, the Fordham lead. 8-point lead with 9.9 seconds. Bonaventure will take a timeout. But with the clock where it is right now in a 3-possession game, Chris, I think this one might be all but over.
I think it might be all but over as well. Seems like Coach Crawley is of the camp, it's never over till it's over. I tend to disagree, but nonetheless, I respect the passion on his part. And yeah, just once again, just a great afternoon for this Fordham team. The way that they handled the Storm, being up 5 without the ball at one point in this second half, a really dangerous spot for them to be in. The way they rallied together and the way they held the ship and the way they rode the ship, really impressive today from this Ram team.
The path this season for the Fordham Rams has not been easy. It's not going to be easy. But the mission statement coming into this one was twofold. End the losing skid and get your first conference win. And for Fordham, it had been a 6-game losing streak. That matches the last time they've done that, 2012, when they went 12-18. So it's been a while since they've stacked losses like that. And, you know, that can really wear on you mentally. They haven't won a game since December started, so to get that first win, it's been over a month since these girls have enjoyed a win, and I think that is a psychological thing at times. So they get one here and they get their first conference win.
Yeah, it seems like they've checked everything off the checklist here today. It seems like they've accomplished everything they want to accomplish. But this St. Bonaventure team, I like them.
Inbound, Peyton Fields, the deep left wing 3 off right iron. Taya Davis, the rebound. Bonaventure won't foul. The clock ticks down. Fordham gets their first A10 win of the season. A 65-57 win over St. Bonaventure. Taylor Donaldson leads the way with 24 points, Chris.
Taylor Donaldson once again showing she could score with anybody in this conference, in this Atlantic 10. She was absolutely wonderful today with her 24 points. But overall, I just thought this Fordham team played some of their best basketball this afternoon when they were really playing like a unit. Specifically on the defensive end, they were playing as one. You could tell they were playing for each other, and they were playing for their coach. They were playing for their program. It's a great energy and a great vibe to have going into games, and you can see how it's paid off for them. An 8-point lead, an 8-point win today in their first win in the A10 schedule.
Start of this game, Coach Mitchell talked to us. She put the onus on the players. She said, we've tried a lot of different things during this losing streak. It hasn't worked. It's on them to turn this around, and that's what they did today. We talk about Donaldson's effort, but up and down the lineup, Amy Hayford explodes in the second half, ends with 12 points. Matilda Flood, quietly a 10-point night, sinks 3 threes. I think Rose Nelson, only 2 points, but played a very physical game down low. We talk about her as someone that I think disappears from time to time or isn't always as impactful as you'd like her to be. But she had a really strong game, I think, even beyond what the numbers showed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matilda Flood, you brought her up, seemingly did everything today that wasn't on the scoreboard. She wasn't scoring a lot, wasn't rebounding a ton, wasn't getting a ton of assists or a ton of fouls. She just really was doing everything that isn't on the stat sheet, everything around the rest of the game, really doing all the dirty work. And Matilda Flood doing Matilda Flood things, as I said before. And yeah, just impressive stuff, not only from Matilda Flood and Taylor Donaldson and Amy Hayford, but even Mandy McGurk coming into her role as a starter today and absolutely living up to it, playing the game that we know that she could play. And yeah, just overall great win for Fordham.
Defensively, Fordham held St. Bonaventure's leading scorer, Danny Haskell, to just 9 points, neutralized her. It was a big day for Nadeshka Lassine, 13 points and 12 for Taylor Napper, but they hold the St. Bonaventure offense in check, and they get their first A10 win in the season. And I think Chris, as you look ahead, well, this marks the return of Amina Lee, and ended up seeing some solid time when you look at 10 minutes played, put up 4 points, 4 rebounds. The 6'4" center adds a lot of depth to this team. I think they've really been hurting without her size down low, and she was playing great basketball prior to her injury. So Fordham, as healthy as they're going to be this year, obviously Maya Giles-Jones not going to be back this year. So to get closer and closer to fully healthy, where it probably is going to be a progression for Amina Lee, but to get her back in the rotation is big for Fordham as you look at the conference slate coming up.
Yeah, and getting people like Leah Nyborg involved today, I think was definitely a part of the game plan. This St. Bonaventure team is small. They don't really have anyone on their roster that can really bang with any of the bigger players on this Fordham team down low. And you saw Lee, she was the difference today. Without anyone there to really match her size, she was dominant.
Well, Fordham with back in action this Saturday. They'll go to LaSalle as conference play continues. And when you look at LaSalle, 3-10, an 8-game losing streak, that's a chance for Fordham not just to stack wins here and get back-to-back wins, back-to-back conference wins, to get back to 500 in conference play. I think a chance to take advantage of maybe a little bit of momentum and what they did well today.
Yeah, waltzing into in-conference season with a 6-game losing streak definitely is not how Coach Mitchell drew it up in the beginning of the season, but to be able to get a win today and then go on the road this weekend and get another win, be 2-0, two-game win streak in the A10 after coming off a 6-game losing streak would be super important, not only for morale, but just the happiness of these players, just the enjoyment that they get from the game could make this season a whole lot more fun.
Wrapping up here from the Rose Hill Gym on Kids Day, Fordham wins 65-57, their first A10 win of the season over St. Bonaventure. And that will do it for us here from Rose Hill. For Chris Carrino, I'm Lou Orlando. Let's send it back to the Rose Hill studios. Madi Dembele and Ben Oppenheimer with your one-on-one post-game report.
The one-on-one post-game report.
All's well that ends well. Welcome to yet another installation of One-on-One's very own post-game report. I am your host for today, Madi Dembele, joined by the one and only Ben Oppenheimer. Here we are with a review of Fordham's women's basketball as they took on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, and with a win, 65-57 is your final score. Your Lady Rams take the win. But before we get into any of the details or the analytics, I'm going to take the liberty to toss it over to Mr. Oppenheimer as he takes you around the world of sports. Ben, it's all yours.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Doing another run-through of some games on the slate tonight in the NBA, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and the 13-20 Raptors will be in Memphis tonight to play Ja Morant and the 11-22 Grizzlies at 8 p.m. In Los Angeles, the 17-17 Lakers will be at home tonight to face the 19-14 Miami Heat at 10 p.m. LeBron James is listed as questionable to play due to what's listed as a non-COVID-19 illness. You can tune in and watch on ESPN. The 23-9 Thunder aim to continue their 5-game winning streak as they face the 13-19 Atlanta Hawks at 7 p.m. Giannis, Dame, and the Bucks will be in Indianapolis to play the 18-14 Pacers tonight, as Indiana is looking to continue their 4-game winning streak as they are led by emerging star Tyrese Halliburton. Mikal Bridges and the Brooklyn Nets will be in Houston this evening to play the 16-15 Rockets at 8 p.m. as Brooklyn is looking to snap their 4-game losing streak. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and the Knicks take on the Chicago Bulls at MSG at 8:30. You can catch the game on ABC. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
Once again, as I said in the first half, always good to hear from my main man, Ben Oppenheimer. But Ben, let's get into this game. I gotta tell you, what I saw from this Fordham team is, I think this is a team that you should be watching closer and closer as you get deeper and deeper into A10 play. At the halftime report, what did I say? I said it's going to be the emotional and physical equilibrium that you have to watch as Fordham continues down this basketball game. It's a war of attrition. Basketball is a game of runs, and Fordham has opened to struggle in the past. Not just the start of games, but in second half. Whenever they manage to catch fire or that magic, they always lose it. Not Fordham tonight. Fordham opens up second half with quick scores to force the Bonnies timeouts. It was 3. You were in the bathroom. You asked me what happened. 3 straight scores. Fordham was able to force the timeout. I mean, Dandridge, the shot clock violation. Fordham's able to get the stop there. Matilda Flood hits her third 3, and she was actually perfect from the night. And she had the big defensive stop at the end. You know, Miranda Nyborg hits that mid-range in the half-court set. Taya Davis, Maddie McGurk. Amy Hayford, Taylor Donaldson. I mean, 24 points, and I believe she was close to 50%. 9 of 19, almost. I didn't major in math. 47%, almost 50. I mean, Ben, how impressed were you with this second half?
I think they weathered the storm. They didn't let the Bonnies come back. St. Bonaventure, they tried to make a little bit of a run in both the third and the fourth. And when you look at the third and the fourth quarter in terms of scoring, it was fairly close in terms of 16 points to Bonaventure's 13 points in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. Then moving into the fourth, Fordham is actually outscored by 1 point, 18, St. Bonaventure 18, Fordham 17. And so I think that's also evident from the fourth quarter, Madi, is when you look at free throws.
Yeah.
St. Bonaventure, in total, when you look at the game, 2 for 5 from the line. Now, that's not great, but what's not great in and of itself is the fact that they only took 5 shots from the charity stripe.
Yeah.
Fordham took 14. Then you look at the fourth quarter, 12 of those 14 shots at the free throw line were in the fourth. And then St. Bonaventure, no shots from the free throw line in the fourth. I think that's a stat of the game right there, because then when you compare everything else, they both ended up shooting poorly from beyond the arc in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Bonaventure 25%, Fordham 31%.
Yeah.
Field goal percentage actually about the same. Fordham, a little bit better, 46%. St. Bonaventure 40%. So that's not great for St. Bonaventure, but that doesn't exactly pop off the page when you look at it. Mm-hmm. But what really I think is key for this game is just looking at free throws. Is 2 for 5, only attempting 5 free throws in the whole game. That's not going to win you many games. And so credit to Fordham for getting fouls, attacking the basket, and getting those gimme points, particularly Taylor Donaldson, 3 for 4 from the line. Mm-hmm. Credit to her. Great game, 9 for 19, 47% from the field, 3 for 9 from three-point land. I think she's the player of the game, obviously.
Player of the game, but if you want to talk about the free throw line, Aminata Lee is another name that you have to bring up. I mean, not only did she have the nice up and under to extend the lead to, I think it was about 9, but she hits 2 at the line, and she's 10 of 12 for the season. So even the bigs could shoot from the line at this season. I got to tell you, this is why I say there's much more to be this, and I don't even think this is the end of Fordham. I think they could be even better. You mentioned that they attacked the basket. How many shots did they miss? Because I looked at my phone. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide open layups that they may have on a nifty amount of moves. They're pushing defenders out of the way. They're blowing by them. They're just missing layups. Fordham left up, I want to say 10 to 12 points in the paint. And they beat this team convincingly. Again, as in the first half, I said this was more so bad Fordham. And you kind of saw that, throughout the second half, and with the percentages as you just shot out. But Fordham got it when it mattered most, and they weren't even hitting their shots. Again, you're going to want to watch this team deeper and deeper into A10 play. I'm very impressed with Taylor and Donaldson. I mean, we cannot speak enough about her numbers, her percentages, but the turnovers, we gotta talk about that, right? As I was saying in the first half, Coach Bridget Mitchell forgets more basketball than I know. I would encourage, this is just me, Madi, Dembele, whoever cares, no one.
I care.
Thank you, Ben. I wouldn't worry about the turnovers. You know what? Because we mentioned it in the first half. Some of the best offenses ever, from the pro level to the high school level, they have turnovers, right? You pass the ball a lot. You're a high-octane offense. You want to move it. Everybody touches it. Strength in numbers, as Fordham embodies perfectly. You're going to turn the ball over sometimes. And what I've seen, this is kind of like armchair psychology. Fordham plays better when they're not thinking about that type of stuff. You saw the free-form offense in the first and the little spurts that they were able to go through on the second half, Ben. They didn't have turnovers in the back of their mind. I think she set that number. I believe it was 6, right? And it's obviously turnovers, you never want them to happen. In a perfect world, they would never happen for your ball club. They're going to happen. But I think they did a good job, even with maybe you could tell me the number of turnovers they had. But Fordham, when they're free-flowing and they're just playing basketball, Carrino said it themselves, smiles on the sideline, even with what they've been going through, and they're just playing basketball without that threat. I think it really opens the floodgate. Watch out for the Rams.
Yeah, it was 15 turnovers in total to the Bonnies 16. That's not great, but I think that, again, when you look at this game and the final score, that's not what pops out.
Yeah.
It's really what this game was about was getting to the free throw line late in the game, and Fordham just sealed it that way. Because when you look at the other stats, it doesn't seem that lopsided. I mean, even in rebounding, now I will say that Fordham had a slight advantage in defensive rebounding.
Absolutely.
29 to the Bonnies 23. But in offensive rebounding, both teams were around the same. Bonnies 10 offensive rebounds in the game, Fordham 9. And so in total, Fordham 38 to Bonnies 33 rebounds. So even though Fordham definitely outplayed St. Bonaventure in terms of rebounding, it wasn't lopsided. The thing that is lopsided, and the reason why I talk about this is when you look at a win, you want to look at that key stat. That's the reason. Oh, that's the reason they won the game.
Yeah.
The reason they won the game is not because of turnovers or points in the paint or anything that you can think of along those lines, or assists. It was because of free throws.
Yeah.
And they just converted them. They attempted them in the first place. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, St. Bonaventure did not even take that many shots from the line.
Couldn't get it.
So they get an F in Gretzky's book. But that's the game right there, Madi.
That's the game. You pointed out a key stat really quickly. I want to point out a key play because it points to the equilibrium of this team and just the patience and just the focus. Mandy McGurk, I believe it was her, or Matilda Flood, rather, excuse me. The big defensive stop. She picks up the guard about 90 feet, not 94, 90 feet. She shuffles her feet perfectly with her. She keeps her in front of her, and then the offensive player tries to push her off. McGurk puts her hands up. She tracks the ball. Great hands, almost like a great defensive back, and her hands just search for the ball and just block it out. That play in itself kind of embodies what we're looking out of this Fordham team, right? Going down to this final stretch of games, whether it's I'm off the top of my head, 15 games or whatever. Going into A10 play, you're going to want focus. That Matilda Flood play was focus. You want focus from this Fordham Rams team. Just a great win overall. And this wasn't even them at their best. Again, watch out because you may have trouble. Don't mess around and find out with this Fordham Rams unit. Ben, anything else to add?
I think this is a good win in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Heading into more conference play. I mean, Lou said it himself. They've got LaSalle next in Philly. LaSalle is 3-10. They are not a good team.
Get fat.
There's an opportunity here to have a nice 2-game win streak, head into VCU, which is a good basketball team.
Absolutely.
Head into VCU, which is 12-1 overall and has 1 win so far, 1-0 so far in conference play. VCU is going to be a battle. But if they easily win against LaSalle, which I think they should be, they can head into Richmond. Even though you confuse it with Richmond, but VCU is in Richmond.
Yeah.
Sorry to confuse the audience. But VCU, that's going to be a challenge. So LaSalle should be the gimme.
Yeah.
That should be the
you have to
split.
get fat, and if you do get fat, you get big-headed mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
you get
right.
confidence in there.
Yeah.
Just as Ben said, Fordham will continue their season campaign against LaSalle. Yet another test in a long and laborious season. To the fans watching at home, we bid you adieu. Special shout out to Lou, Orlando, and Chris Carrino on the call. They're currently right here in studio. I don't know if they want to wave hi. No? Okay, that's perfectly fine. Will Talent doing his thing as producer, Riley Lucas as our trusty engineer, and of course, Ben Oppenheimer on updates. I am Madi Dembele. Bobby Chaffardini is the sports director here at WFUV. We call him Bobby C around here. And the Fordham women's basketball production is a production of WFUV Sports. Good night and good game.